Yeah, and I'm going to be hyping this a lot, though. It's in the description, a link to their Rob Burnett is doing his 1,000th episode of Robservations, and I am scheduled to be there in the second part at 9:20 Pacific time, be 10:20 here, and we're going to be discussing Kurtzman Trek. It's mayhem will ensue, I assure you. Meanwhile, we're going to get a little queued up here and start doing the because I get various daily Star Trek stuff in the email. Some of it, it's like, okay, this is interesting. No, it's like, and little news bits here and there, like what's going on with this, and what's the latest announcement of Star Trek 4, which is never going to happen, I don't think. It's becoming a running joke, I think, in the industry. It's like, really, Oh, now we're going to have Pee Wee Herman come in. Okay, it's something whatever weird, but a lot of it, some Thanksgiving themed stuff here. Like, couple of them is ranking the worst episode. Some of them rank, the 20, the couple of 20. Let's get right into it here. One of them is like 25 things that Star Trek fans should be thankful for. From Chad Porto. And we'll see how thankful we should be for some of these here. But First Contact, okay. Lily from following a theme here. Lily from First Contact, blow up the damn ship. And okay, well, she was a definite turn. Shatner's still kicking 93. I'm sure he's thankful for that. Anson Mount's hair, Captain Pike's, same thing. Strange New World, raising the bar for quality. Just raising it above the gutter that was Discovery. Strange New World is not that good, okay? It's a return to the formula that worked, but it's like they still don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? First and only on-screen meeting between James T. Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard. Let Legacy get made. We may see, an adaptation of The Return. Data's cat Spot. Which one? All his cats are named Spot. Borg arriving to save Earth and start. What? What to say? Star Trek Connection. I have never liked the Borg. Really, it's just a little overused, frankly. We're going to say Star Trek Connection. That's World War I or II. Like I said, after that, they really should have just given the Borg a long break. Okay, growing up in the 90s, during the height of playing with air start. Well, speaking of someone who originally grew up in the 70s, really. So, Board 64, I don't know if you count the remaining 4 years of the 60s, but like I said, you missed out on when it's like, where those Mego figures come out and the minor explosion of more Star Trek models beyond just the Enterprise and the Klingon battle cruiser. When they finally come out with the shuttlecraft and the exploration set and K7 and the Romulans, that was a fun time. Prodigy making the franchise entertaining and adjustable for younger fans. I had no problem as a little kid watching and largely understanding Star Trek. What do we got here? Okay, I'll add you. Whoop. All right. What? All right, then do it yourself.
I can do it myself. I usually do.
All right.
Dingbat.
You're normally not up here Fridays. Okay. Well, so we're going through things we're supposed to be thankful for in Star Trek. And it's like some of these, like, really.
I'm thankful I quit watching the new stuff. Does that
count? I mean, like 4 and 5, it's like, Anson Mount's hair. It's like, really? Okay. Well, when did Pike start sporting a pompadour?
I'm thankful I never joined the creepy people who were obsessed with shipping Data after that whole episode. I mean,
yeah. Oh yeah, Data's cat Spot. I said, which one? That's the way to account for all the why each cat is different every time you had a cat. All his cats named Spot. Once they got a little unruly or whatever, hand up to somebody else. So there's plenty of cats on that ship named Spot. You know. So,
and granted, it was based on and the original one that they showed in several of the episodes was Spiner's actual cat. But once he lost that cat, they just kind of started bringing in cats when they needed to.
Oh yeah, and
it got odd after that.
I mean, it was kind of the joke that he named him Spot in the first place. That's not a cat's name. But the Borg arriving to save Star Trek Next Generation. Again, I've never really cared for the Borg. You know, it's not a concept you really can take big doses of. And they're lucky they didn't get suited to oblivion by the BBC because it was basic ripoffs of the Cybermen from Doctor Who.
I mean, look, am I going to say that all the Borg stuff was bad? No. Am I going to say it was extremely overplayed and they obsessed on it way too many episodes of way too many shows?
Yeah. They were running the thing like Doctor Who and the Daleks for a while. It's like they did an entire season of the Daleks one time. The Dalek Master Plan, anyone? That was the entire freaking season. And they were like, okay, that's it. No more Daleks for a while.
And the Daleks was part of why I couldn't stand a lot of Doctor Who because I found them so irritating and grating. I didn't want to watch. Yeah. I'm sorry, honestly.
You can only hear exterminate so many times, and it's just like
That's like nails on a chalkboard to some autistic brains and my sensory issues.
Yeah,
I've never liked Doctor Who. It's always irritated my sensory issues. So it's like. Yeah. There's that whole side too, and I'm sure I will piss off a lot of people with that. I don't really fucking care. I mean,
but we got her growing up in the '90s during the height of the Playmates era. Well, again, I was in my 30s by then, so I appreciate it. I had a whole shit ton of figures. I got lucky one time at a DAV thrift stop. Got the Enterprise D bridge place and a shuttlecraft. I still have the shuttlecraft, but it lost the bridge. Different thing. But
I mean, I grew up in the 80s and 90s.
$5 for the damn thing. It was complete.
What is their comment about growing up in the 90s? I want to see that one again here.
During the height of the Playmates era of Star Trek. Yeah, back when they knew how to do it, when they're doing.
Okay. I'm going to say a few things that are probably going to be controversial with that. I think part of the problem they had with a lot of the traditional Trek shows was trying to make several at once on top of each other there in the 90s.
They got a little over, thing there.
Because I think that's when the writing started having more struggles, when they got worse at making sure they balanced wartime versus playtime and all that was because they were trying to balance too many shows, too many things. They had the different Star Treks going. They had Earth Final Conflict going. They had Andromeda trying to start. They had too much shit at once.
Yeah.
Is what caused a lot of the problems. And that's as somebody who's a massive Trek and Roddenberry fan and was thrilled watching all of these shows. But they were doing too much and it was overloading. And that's just what they're trying to do now. Yeah,
they have not learned. I mean, Berman, and they tried, look, let's give him a rest here. No, we got to get it on now. So I blame the studio for a lot of that. Because they wanted to give her, after Voyager, about a year. But no, we got to get this on going. So they those sets, and they wanted to do, and the Enterprise, they wanted to do a year on space before they even get out there. No, we got to get them out there now. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah, but you know what? At the same time, the things that I find cringiest about Enterprise, they still could have not done.
Yeah.
And they still could have at least made it look like the right era's technology, not like it's more futuristic and more fancy than the series that's supposed to come after it. It was just awkward. It was weird. It didn't make sense.
I will give them credit for trying. They tried to, we got to make it look more advanced than today, but let's not go more advanced, because let's bring it, not quite.
I don't say this maliciously or hatefully, but I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't. You got a Vulcan woman acting like a slut, which made no sense whatsoever.
Well.
Let's be honest. I mean, no sense whatsoever. They were so desperately doing things that are ratings grabbers that didn't fit with the rest of the Star Trek universe, and that's what irritated me.
Putting Jolene in that catsuit with the ratings, it's like, hey.
And I get they were trying to play to male gaze. They were trying to go this other stuff, but a lot of those things are also why it wasn't as big of a show. Because even as much as we nerds love being perverted little twisted fuckers.
Yeah.
We do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
we also wanted to fit within our canon and our universe.
I think the big problem, the Enterprise, it's like, again, it takes a step, man, probably a few years, but the big thing that Enterprise, I think, in the sin in the eyes of fans was it wasn't following what we thought was supposed to be happening in the year. It's like there really wasn't that much established at that point. So they weren't treading on any sacred ground. It was just a lot of fan assumptions of what happened. Like, where's the Daedalus class? Where's that?
Well, as I'm telling you, the issues I had more were kind of breaking the lore of how Vulcans were supposed to act and crap like that. Things that really didn't make sense, except for trying a ratings grab.
They made it work later on when you had the Romulans pulling strings here and there. Oh, that's why they're assholes. Okay.
Granted. My reasons I had issues with it. Far different than a lot of the other people. It's a lot of the other people. It really did apply to. It didn't do what they wanted canon to do based on a few novels that were not full canon, anyways. Literally, that's what it was, and that's a different debate and argument. But mine had to do with legitimate. It didn't work. The technology would not have gone the direction it did after that to become what the original Enterprise was. All this other stuff. They didn't put logic into the design, and that just killed it for me. God, I am such a nerd. I mean,
yes, you are.
No,
well, the way Drexler designed the ship is he deliberately left it unfinished because the idea was, that put the secondary hull is going to come later if we get lucky again this season.
And again, what I'm saying
and once
is
they're taking them, okay, now we see it. Yeah. All right.
And as I was starting to say, first of all, nothing against the people that were working on it. I do think part of that was because they were rushed and they were told, no, we need to make this look really fancy, futuristic.
Yeah.
Promise that offended a lot more fans than they actually think it did.
Could be.
Yeah, I know a lot of people who really hated that part of that show.
I know, and there's still people hating
and the other problem is just the general. They weren't good on the way they had the different races act in the first season, and it was too painful for a lot of us. And I know a lot of people who, but the second and third seasons and after that it wasn't that bad. It's like, yeah, but I was already checked out by a couple episodes because it irritated the shit out of me. So, and there's an amount of us who will always check out when it's just crappy at the beginning. But I mean, look, I gave my husband the special edition Blu-ray of the Batman animated series as his main birthday gift yesterday. At which point, me, Lydia, Richard, and my husband sat here going into Batman rants and rambles and debates for hours. So I can't really say that this is not because I'm not nerdy. It's because I am too nerdy. I am, if nothing but a fuck off, shameless, obsessive autistic perfectionist, and it comes out. And my husband, bless his heart, had somebody comment that if you just have a Tesla car, then you could just charge it yourself. And my husband went into an 8 paragraph description of why technologically that doesn't work in charging at homes. It's like, oh dear God, quit info dumping on people. The person was a little ignorant. You could have made a simple post to explain that the power system in a house doesn't work with the power system in that car unless you have it reformatted. That's all you had to say. You did not have to go on a 10 paragraph info dump about the details of how electronic charging systems work in cars.
Do I have a separate charging station they put in there? You don't just plug it into the wall.
I know, but he didn't have to explain it like that. Holy shit. I'm reading this.
He's an engineer. What do you fucking expect?
Yeah, but this was like autistic special interest info dumping at the peak. And it's like, good God, honey. I'm looking at this, and it's like literal descriptions of every little piece of device and wire by code, by name, by binary translations and stuff. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck are you trying to do to this person? I guarantee you 99% of people are going to look at that and go, what the fuck?
It's like, you're just trying to explain why he's wrong, not trying to teach him how to build one himself. Okay.
I love
but
good God, he is such a proof of the whole logical or intellectual side of autism. I mean,
coming from the perspective, though, again, of being around the fan lore that built up over the 70s and stuff, and also from it would at least at the time working on an update on the Concordance with Bijo. And think, okay, what do we really know about that period as opposed to what we thought we know? And it's like there is really a lot more wide open field than we thought. So there,
and there were a lot of us that were in the younger generation of Trek fans who we obsessed so much over that original series. We obsessed so much over that era, that culture, the social climate of the U.S. in that time, everything that we absolutely we had the same spirit as the original Trek fans. We just weren't born quite yet.
Yeah.
But then there were also people in my generation who they didn't want to watch the original series. It's campy. It's cheesy. They thought they were too good for it. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah. But it's like Foley, and he's still attached to Starfleet Battles. He's like, it was canon. It was no, just because it's officially licensed doesn't mean it's canon.
Well,
that's a lot of people said.
That's a whole discussion and debate with Star Trek and Star Wars novels in general, because they had so many different writers doing it. Most of them say in the books, if you look through all the cliff notes and side pieces, that these aren't actually canon to the story. These are fanfics, and the problem is they just basically printed all the fanfics as the novels to the series, which confused the shit out of a lot of people, and it's what's created the battle between canon and EU versus all this other shit. And there's issues with it in both. There's issues with it in both because they both just shamelessly money grabbed. Okay, you're a fan that's got a story written that semi fits within the way the canon's already designed. Please come here, sell it to us. We will make a profit off it.
Yeah. Well, Roddenberry hated the novels.
And by the way,
he didn't even consider his own novelization of the movie canon. Okay, that's how much he hated the books.
And by the way, I say that. And I complain about the problems that both the Star Trek novels and the EU and Star Wars have. I say that as somebody who downstairs between all of the Star Trek, Star Wars books and comic books have over 2,000 downstairs.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
I think would have been a little competitive if it hadn't been for eviction purge or two, thinning the herd.
I have almost every book that's been done of Star Trek and Star Wars downstairs. So when I say this, I'm not bad-mouthing and saying I won't read them or I don't like them. Please understand, one of my favorite books when I was young was The Courtships of Princess Leia, okay? I'm not going to fucking sit here and say that this is because I don't want to read them or stuff like that. Or no, God, no, please. I'm absolutely good with them in a lot of ways. But there were problems and there were continuity issues between the books because they were written by different writers for different fanfics. And as much as I love my Star Wars fans in the fandom, the obsession with acting like the EU was perfect. I don't get it from Alora. I don't get it from any of them. It just doesn't. No, it wasn't. There's a lot of continuity errors in it.
I definitely see to Alora on the knowledge base of what there's also, because I really didn't read many of the novels. Star Wars stuff.
I would have to get the novels back out to point out all the issues that I had with it because it's been a long time. But I also have read all the books, reread all the books, and done debates and discussions and checked different data in one book against another and stuff. So I won't concede to her. I will say she's very knowledgeable on it. I just disagree with her on a lot of points. And I'm not saying that maliciously, and I'm not saying that bad on stream. I'm saying I don't understand that viewpoint, but I respect it at the same time.
Yeah. Now, what I understand is like the EU and Star Wars has a better claim of candidacy, but it's not ironclad. Yeah, George had a.
It's less inconsistent than Star Trek. It has less overall writers than Star Trek. Star Trek was so over the top with so many writers. And again, I love the fucking books. I read them. I obsess over them. I am so down for all of it. And I will sit there and debate why the books aren't consistent with each other. I am fine with all of that. I just have to also be honest and say that it wasn't great. There was a lot of issues with it.
Well,
I am such a fucking nerd.
George Lucas had a little. They had to run it by him. Now he didn't edit the books, but he was like, here's what, and where the point was they want to do. Well, no, this is how that happened. So keep the general storyline in line. Like imagine what the story about the Millennium Falcon, the novel, but I think that's probably the actual history of the ship.
I still say to those who are history nerds like me, but love a lot of the modern sci-fi, sci-fantasy stuff, you need to go onto Amazon and just search for Shakespearean Star Wars.
Mhm.
And there's a guy who took all the fucking major movies and rewrote the book stories of them as Shakespearean plays.
Mm.
They are fucking phenomenal. They are
I
entirely both enjoyable and hilarious at the same time.
Empire Strikes Back as turns like this is not far from Hamlet.
Read these books. Oh my god, they are fucking beautiful. I found them by accident
Yeah.
in the library, and oh dear
Mhm.
god, they're great. They're great.
Yeah.
They're great. Anyway,
Mhm.
sorry. I just hell his versions
Mhm.
of the freaking Disney ones made him less irritating
Mm.
because of the way it was written and the art he
Mhm.
put in it.
Yeah.
This guy is phenomenal. The versions he does of retelling modern novels as Shakespearean style.
Mhm.
And I wish I could remember his name, but just search it out. You'll find it. Trust me.
Yeah.
It is so worth the time.
Yeah.
I'm such a nerd.
But yeah,
God,
it's
I'm
like
such a
the
nerd.
Star Wars EU. I think you can probably take the general history presented as the specific stories don't count on it because they always had to reserve the right to no, we're going to go differently in the movie. We're not going to go
that said, I still said by the time they made that last movie, they'd done so much shit to destroy any canon from both books and previous movies that the best way. And the thing is, I could have understood they don't want to do the EU direction. They want to do a completely separate storyline. If they did a completely separate storyline, not ripped off the EU and then claimed they didn't use it.
Yeah.
But I still say the best ending they could have done for that last movie is just suddenly a portal opens in time and space and Jason steps out and shanks Krylo through the head for stealing a story and then kills everyone.
World Between Worlds is like they have the mechanisms. It kind of a multiverse thing is in the system.
Just have him step through a portal and shank him in the head for stealing a story and then kill everybody.
And I think that
problem solved. I mean,
I'm pretty strong theory that's what Favreau was going the direction of, but of course, Kathy couldn't do that.
Kathy,
so as it stands right now, I think the only really official Star Wars you can is again, the general history presented in the EU and some of the video games.
And I agree on that actually.
Yeah.
And I am a big EU defender. I just, as I said, my only beef is the people who act like it was perfect and fit the lore completely from the movies. No, or that there was no continuity issues between the books. There absolutely was some. And I say that with no malice in me whatsoever. I love the books, but I also have to be honest, just like I have to criticize the things that Roddenberry did wrong, which I do often, even though I adore Roddenberry's work.
Yeah, compared to with the Star Trek, they were doing Star Trek. The novel. Roddenberry had no hand in James Blish's novelizations.
No, but the issues I have more with Roddenberry is the shameless plagiarism he was really known for.
Yeah.
And he was actually known for it.
Back then, it was a general plot. I think every Western had a high noon.
No, that's not what I'm referencing.
Oh.
I'm referencing actual names of shit that came right out of other people's novels and books that he used for his shit. I'm talking about entire plots that were lifted out of sci-fi books and put into his episodes. They're there. It's well known. It's well documented. He even admitted it before.
Yeah.
So it's like
most times they'd cover distracts enough. It got by legal. Got by Colin DeForest. Although sometimes it's like with
Headline could have sued him. He ripped off so much of his actual names of everything that he had in Star Beast to create the whole Star Trek universe, including literally the United Federation of Planets came from Star Beast. Headline could have absolutely sued him. He didn't. They liked each other. That's the only reason he got away with half the shit he said.
Yeah, Heinlein kind of liked it. In fact, they really rubbed it with Trouble with Tribbles. But they run up against it with that one because again, the original thing was originally called The Fuzzy Thing Happened to Me, and Colin Forrest had a problem with the fuzzy name Fuzzy because of H. Bean Piper thing, a little fuzzy. It's like my creatures also like them. No, but they want you to change it anyway. So okay, fine. So they went through a whole list of names and Tribble. That's
But that's what
eventually they had.
There was a lot of direct stuff that did come from him.
Well,
and then a lot of the fanfic writers weren't better because that's where you get into the novels, and that's where they really pushed. Like the Sarek novels went into the Keep Earth Human League and stuff like that, which all came from Star Beast as well.
But the
Tribble thing just doubled down on him stealing stuff from Star Beast.
Well, thing is the Tribble thing. When Heinlein asked for an autographed copy of the script for Tribbles. that's when it clicked for David Gerald. What he did, he didn't realize that he's ripped off the story for the Rolling Stones. Because the point where they pick up these little fuzzy creatures called flat cats that breed like crazy and take over their ship. I was like, oh my God, what have I done? And then it was Heinlein being very well. No, it's like, look, it's all the same story. Pigs is pigs, which is it's mainly a Disney short made it famous, but it's a short story about some guy in the Australian outback ordering a couple of guinea pigs, and the guy the guy handles the incoming livestock stuff never heard of a guinea pig. He just sees pigs. And you don't have the forms here for livestock. Well, they're not livestock. No, pigs is pigs. And meanwhile, they're breeding and crazy and producing this hip deep for these things.
Well, and that's what I was getting at is the fact that Heinlein did like a lot of what Roddenberry did.
Yeah.
You absolutely know he had to know he ripped him off because, again, one of the books he said was one of his favorites to write literally was the creation of the term of what became the biggest governmental branch in Star Trek. You can't tell me he didn't know he was ripped off a bit.
Yeah.
But again, he liked it, so he went, okay, well, we'll leave it alone. And I'm sitting there going, Roddenberry was lucky about that because honestly, he had a legal claim to what Roddenberry was doing.
Yeah.
But he liked it, so he like, I'm not going to sue him. I like this.
Hey, someone asked, here's the novel. Read it. Fucking hire sales for him. So.
I do recommend to every Trek fan to read The Star Beast because there's so much of naming of Earth's government systems, the interstellar communications, the rules not to interfere with other planets and why they were created and stuff that actually matches Star Trek in it. It is a great read. It's almost a pre-Trek book.
Yeah. Yeah. Gene Kuhn is also because when Gene Kuhn came in. And that's where they really smacked it, but also the different attitude of when they were.
I'm getting you excited, but I haven't finished any of these sentences in a long time. Right. Like halfway through it, and you get rambling on it.
Well, I got to jump on here. No, but
shut up, buddy.
Well, and
I got to get excited because we're rambling on Trek, but you're really good at not letting me finish the last part of my sentence. You know that.
Okay.
Anyway, hi, Rob.
Hello.
Well, regarding the episode Arena.
Oh, I love that episode.
Yeah, that's the case. I don't know what it was called before, but Kuhn turned this thing in, and great. And then kind of unfortunately, this is kind of uncomfortably close to the short story Arena by Frederick Brown back in the 50s. And another case of Kuhn. Oh shit! I read that back then and forgot about it, and figured there's a chance he accidentally plagiarized the plot. So
give him a writer's credit. So
that's the thing. They had to panic. And okay, well, again, Frederick Brown had died by then, but they got a hold of his widow, and they kind of left out the part where they had already written the script and said, "We'd like to adapt your husband's story into an episode." Oh, that'd be great! So you've got the rights. Okay, we're clear.
For the one who interrupts me all the time when I'm mid word and mid sentence without pausing, you pause a long time, and then as soon as I start talking, you start again.
Okay, all right, go.
Anyway,
okay.
I was saying, I was telling them, Rob, the same thing I tell everyone. If you're really fond of the original Trek era and a lot of the names and stuff in Trek, everybody in that I recommend to read Heinlein's Star Beast, which came out in 54 or 55. I try to remember the names, which literally has so many of the names and the creations of things that became the canon of Star Trek, including the United Federation of Planets and all that in it. And literally almost feels like a pre-Star Trek novel, which is why I was telling him that, if Heinlein didn't love Star Trek, he could have easily sued the shit out of him. Because there's so many direct names of the governments and other stuff in that book that were just completely lifted out and put into Star Trek. But it's a great book, and it was one of Heinlein's favorites to write. It's playful, but it also really went into the issues that if you mess with a planet you don't know or a species you don't know. And to go into partial details, they find out that this pet that this family has had for generations, this old pet, is actually very important on another planet and could be starting an interstellar war.
Remember when Archer's dog took a pee on the sacred tree?
Going where no dog has gone before.
Yeah.
And the way they describe this pet in the preamble to the book is that Lummox had always been such a gentle creature. Well, except for that time that he ate the secondhand Buick.
Yeah.
I would not be surprised at some point they tried to get Heinlein to write an episode, but it's like.
But yeah, it's like. So yes, I acknowledge Roddenberry at times was a shameless plagiarizer, and so was Gene Coon. But again, I like what they created, and I can acknowledge the mistakes they made, or the errors they did, or the things they did wrong, and still love what they did. And that's where I think a lot of people act like they can't anymore, is people act like either they have to completely agree with people or they can't enjoy them. If that was the case, I wouldn't watch fucking Jimmy Carr, because most of what he says I think is stupid as shit. But he's funny and he's offensive, so I watch him.
Yeah.
You know?
I think it's also a good contrast of the way they do it now, when Kurtzman just shamelessly ripping off, right? It's like, you don't have the same attitude. And also, it was a different time back then.
It was a different time back then. I would say it did cross into the shamelessly, just overtly ripping off many times.
But this time it's like.
But the difference is, at least if you push them on it, they'd admit, yeah, we kind of took that.
Yeah.
Whereas now they just double down, going, no, I didn't. I created it.
What is this list I'm looking at here?
Oh, this is what we're going through here. 24 things we should be,
thankful.
24 things that Star Trek fans should be thankful for this Thanksgiving.
The evolution, because the evolution of Michael Burnham. There was no evolution.
I know. It's like, what it was damage control. When they realized just how horrible that character was.
The only thing to be thankful with that character is if the character died.
Oh, I didn't see the last season of. I mean, I'm thinking she did not die.
No,
I don't watch it, but as far as I know, no. I wish she did. I'm saying that would be the only thing to be grateful for.
I was gone after season 3. Really? No.
It took you that long? I watched one episode and said this is fucking stupid and turned it off.
I think I got one episode into 3 to see what the hell they're going to do with she comes through the Iron Man suit and I'm actually know to make a few in there, but it's like but when they actually state the agents walk out, the president of the Earth, that's it. I'm never coming back.
If you pay attention to the way they did that entire fuck show, basically they tried to Trek-ize Andromeda badly
and failed miserably. Yeah.
That's what it fucking was. It wasn't creative. It wasn't new. Now, granted, from the notes from the Roddenberry family, he did originally want Andromeda to somehow fit into the Star Trek universe. They just never figured out a way to make it work.
Yeah, he's probably better off not. Robert Hewitt Wolf, I think, actually tried to. He's probably one of the ones that, try this, and they tried to do a thing of Fall of the Federation, I think, but no, that really wouldn't happen. And
I know Andromeda is more of a cult favorite in a lot of ways. There were battles between fans on how good it was overall, and it's not as universally accepted in Roddenberry's canons as the others, but it is one of my favorite shows for a lot of reasons, although it did get very weird in the late seasons. I still think one of the best points was when they just shamelessly crossed over the different nerd genres, and you had the two androids from the ship being chased by something, and all of a sudden one of them turns around and goes, "We are not the droids you're looking for." And they were like, "What the hell was that?" I don't know, but it didn't work. Because it was funny and it was absolutely there just as a comedic moment in the middle of something serious. But it was great.
It's like it's all last season, screw it.
Fucking go for it, right?
Yeah. I started watching the final season of STD and they kept going, "We have a red directive. It's a red." I'm like, just say priority 1.
Yeah.
Just motherfucker. Pardon my language. But my God, everything has to come down. Everything has to be color coded. Jesus.
Pardon your language on this fucking channel? Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, I still like to think of myself as somewhat, sophisticated, but
that's part of why I've given up. My ticks are not. And I grew up as a Sturgis biker. I went through shop and stuff. I don't have a freaking civilized bone in my body. Let's be honest. I am as savage as they fucking come.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But it's like, I mean, some of these, it's like one of not having to deal with Tuvix. Okay,
Well, yeah, I mean,
Archers level. Who cares about what archers love for water polo?
oh, okay, not for nothing. It's not. They didn't go to find coffee in the nebula. They wanted to find material that they could feed into their
Yeah.
replicator.
That was Janeway's. There's coffee in that nebula. I think don't stand between her and her coffee in the morning. Yeah.
Oh God, yeah. The older I get, the more I relate.
Yeah, I think that was more of with a little bit of Kate Mulgrew getting into that thing into the
Yeah,
character.
well, the whole coffee obsession. They tried to play at the beginning like the tea Earl Grey hot kind of thing, but it got so much more bizarre than that and so much more over the top. It irritated me after a while.
Yeah.
Well, she's grabbing Neelix by the thing. Coffee now. It's like the little goopy thing is not going to work.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I do like the explanation of the replicators and the transporter. What that Picard gave when he was explaining to Moriarty, we found in our century that matter and energy are interchangeable. I'm like, oh, okay, so that's how everything works.
On a quantum level, it really is, but it's like that's way.
That's I know it's. I understand.
Big gap between actually working that. But
I know it's. It's a very simplistic way of explaining it, but it's at the time it works. You know, but
I love the whole Moriarty one, so for a lot of reasons.
If you already have matter, you can break it down into energy, but you cannot just create energy from matter.
No,
that was kind of their explanation. They're out for that.
Well, I think because we got
Lower Decks finding a fandom for 5 seasons. Did it?
Well, yeah, actually, because being a Star Trek fan has been akin to like learning a foreign language, or no, you can tell the native speakers from the wannabes. My big man again. Like these guys are native speakers. They are hardcore fans. They know what they're doing, so they know when to reference what.
In the story part, yes, but the art style and the humor is like you try to blend fucking Cal Arts and Rick and Morty with the worst parts of Family Guy and vomited it up, which is why I won't watch it.
Trek and Morty is the
And I absolutely revile that humor style. I also fucking revile Cal Arts. So nothing against people who liked it because I understand it at least went more true to the characters and the style. But I'd rather fucking take a dental drill to the nipples and watch that shit.
As opposed to like me. Foley's, Stewart, his attitude about Discovery is about the same as mine. Just we're both love this. This is it. This this way you want to do it. Fun start. This is the way you go.
I'm telling you. I mean,
they know what they're talking about. Okay, yeah, that does make sense.
But the one I always rave about Final Space, but Final Space was far beyond its art style, and it did have comedic elements, but it was mostly a space adventure. Well, Gary was he was in search of his father. What happened to his father? But he has this little being, Mooncake, fall into his lap, and he said it actually does start out with the hero's journey. It actually is loose. It is a bit looser interpretation of it.
Like I understand it's more actual Trek than almost anything else we've had in quite a while. I just can't do it.
I know.
But again, I'm not going to badmouth the fans who did because obviously there's more actual Trek there, so it's not like it's complete and utter betrayal kind of thing.
Yeah,
I just think it's.
There's a lot of this last episode is this whole because
I just
beaming them down to a planet where time passes differently, so that 1 second up on the ship is like a month down on the planet. It's like these poor guys, they spend a year down there waiting for Rutherford and Boimler to beam them back up. It's like, and they turned out they spilled something on the console. They get back and they finally beam back. What the hell? What's wrong with you?
Go to see the cat doctor and say, can you just add a year to our lifespan?
Yeah.
the grumpy cat doctor.
Oh, they had a rough, just having to turn into making them look like the aliens type thing. I'm a doctor, not whatever the fuck this is.
Every attempt at a Star Trek video game. Well, Star Trek
I don't know about every attempt.
Well, there's a couple of them are.
A couple of them that should have seen it. They're still putting it that Secret of Vulcan's Fury. Like this is the last time D. Kelly did Dr. McCoy, and so where are these files? Modern technology now. You put that through Unreal Engine, and holy shit, we're in a whole new episode.
I do like Star Trek. I did like Star Trek Online, but until I hit the paywall, until I hit the paywall, the whole Zen coins that you had to buy, and I just wasn't willing to do that. You could mine dilithium, but that was very time consuming, obviously, and then to use it on the exchange would give you a crappy rate, and just there was no way.
I would still rather have just to pay for the fucking game than all these ones that basically make you.
Well, I'm also not interested in starting off as a cadet at my age. No.
Now, granted, I will say that there are definitely ones where I feel there's valid for club memberships because there's so much content constantly added and done and stuff, and that's a whole other debate. But generally, most of these are just shameless money grabs. They're very awkward. They're very uncomfortable, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And that's where I get turned off to a lot of that stuff, and I do.
I mean, the space station. What the hell was the name of the space station in Star Trek Online? Well, whatever it was, in Starfleet Academy, a lot of that was well done.
Yeah,
a lot of the visual stuff was well done, but it's like I said, it was just the paywall and the paying for stuff, and after they give you the tease of giving you so much stuff for free. Oh, cool. And there is no way to get that by playing the game. In Grand Theft Auto, there you can it's going to take you a while, but there you can run multiple businesses and accumulate quite a bit of cash.
This is what I was getting at is I think it's one thing to have a game say, okay, well, we want this to be affordable and accessible to everybody, so we're going to offer free versions, we're going to maybe have ads, we're going to maybe do this stuff, but okay, if you pay a premium once, you get the game premium and stuff like that, or even there's some premium content, but it's completely optional stuff and it's not going to make you overpowered so you can beat every other player and shit like that. That's fine. It's when you can't compete unless you pay. That becomes the problem. When they're constantly adding things to try and make you pay more money.
One of the biggest actually flaws is, and like I said, I haven't played Star Trek Online, but I do play Grand Theft Auto, and this I can point to this as an egregious example, was that they made a flying armed motorcycle, the Oppressor, well within everybody's reach. And so you had all these people on these flying motorcycles blasting, just griefing away at others. Like, motherfucker, I'm trying to play the game.
This one I think needs addressing.
But they're like, they message you 1-0 loser. I'm like, fuck off. I'm trying to transport illegal substances here within the game's context. So you just play, but you play an invite only session, and you get to do all that stuff, which is actually like, finally. But like they finally raised the price of that motorcycle to $8 million. I'm like, it should have been $8 million to begin with. So, but it's not fair. I'm like, well, how is it not fair? It's supposed to be San Andreas, not Fallujah.
Like, the game is Grand Theft Auto. What the hell is fair about
flying motorcycles?
You're talking about committing major felonies in a game. Fuck fair. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Star Trek making the franchise entertaining yet digestible for younger fans.
Okay, it always was.
It always has been.
I have vivid memories of sitting when we were visiting family members because we were poor as fuck. But I have vivid memories visiting family members, and I would be sitting on my dad's knee as a toddler watching Star Trek with him. What do they mean digestible for younger viewers? Fuck that shit.
I don't have memories of it, but I've been told same thing when my dad was watching it on NBC.
I remember
because I was 2.5 when the show premiered, so I was like,
I remember when I was 4 years old watching it on WPIX on Saturday afternoons when they used to rerun it at 2 p.m. on Saturdays.
Of course, the same could be said with me and my dad of sitting on his knee watching mobster movies and shit I shouldn't have seen as a kid, but
it's like before the big syndication package happened in '74, so it's like there were reruns. Like Channel 9 out here had it for a while. I'd come across it once in a while, just flipping channels on Saturday.
Was that WWOR Channel 9?
No, Channel 9 here.
Oh
Okay.
shit! I forgot. Let me check if
I
that's
think
still
it was-
on sale. I needed to tell you something here.
Yeah, it's
Me or-
KUSA
or-
now. I think it was still KBTV or something back then.
Yeah.
It was the ABC channel, but they did run it on
We
Saturday,
used
and I'd come across it just flipping channels.
Saturdays.
Never in the channel, but it was never what's that? It's like, oh, Star Trek. Well, I'm already halfway through.
Bob, I know you're broke, but there's something you do need to try to find a way to buy. I'm put the link in private here so you can see what's going on.
Oh.
Anyway, Saturdays used to be
Look at the price right now.
cartoons.
Actually, I already have it.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Steph got it for me. For I think it was birthday.
Okay, because that's a
Yeah,
good
it's
deal
like
right
it's-
now.
It's sitting over here somewhere.
I had to make sure you have that while it's affordable.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yeah.
Baby.
Johnny Fever is a personal hero of mine. Okay, it's one of the reasons why yes, radio. That's what
It was one of my dad's favorite shows, and
Oh, yeah.
they had trouble trying to get a copy out in the middle of nowhere. So
Mhm.
I actually have it programmed and
Yeah.
scheduled to actually be delivered to Mom for her
Yeah.
birthday.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I grabbed the first season when it came out, but it's like, yeah,
love
it turns out it didn't have all the music because of the licensing thing.
I
That's
love
why
it.
it took so long to get the series out because they had to renegotiate all the licenses. They got most of the music back.
Okay, they got most of the music. Okay, good.
Most of the music, yeah. And because a couple of bits though, it's like when one of I forget the thing, but Les is trying to get some image, revision, and everyone's out of the thing. He's in his little office area.
Image quality considering the series was originally shot on videotape, unfortunately, is
Mhm.
almost uniformly outstanding.
Mhm.
And once again, Andy
Mhm.
is overseeing the station, plays the likes of Bruce Springsteen, Rolling Stones, AC/DC,
Mhm.
Grateful Dead,
Yeah.
Tom
Mhm.
Petty, Elvis Costello, The Cars, Wings, Police,
Mhm.
instead of a series of featureless music tracks.
Yeah, because the one scene where he's, okay, and he's, so Les is, they got, instead of the jacket he had, and now playing Foreigner, Hot Blooded, on thing turns it up a bit, and it just went along with the lyrics. It slips on the toupee and looks, and the blazers, and the ascot. It all works together. Yeah.
They that actually was How I Met Your Mother was another one that had a lot of music in it, and
Yeah.
it got taken out of the
Yeah.
home video releases.
Well, it's
And
like
it's
the
like-
home video release of Golden Years,
Yeah.
or Wonder Years rather.
Yeah.
The actual broadcast had Joe Cocker singing, "Will Help My Friends."
Yeah.
Home video, it's some no-name singer. All they got was the song. They couldn't get the performance.
And freaking
It doesn't work.
yeah, freaking it's a bit different. But
Yeah, it's-
Stripperella actually originally had the theme sung by Kid Rock.
Hmm.
So they substituted that. I'm like, what the hell happened? Wait a minute, hold on. This is different. I don't remember this.
I think that was a result of bad divorce.
Yeah.
Oh, I just remembered something when you guys were talking
Alright.
about this. My copy of Bosom Buddies,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have the Billy Joel thing at the beginning.
Well, ABC they had to
Yeah.
change that halfway through the series, I think
Mhm.
too.
Well, Billy Joel's always had kind of a love-hate relationship with that song anyway. It's like, he's just like, songs are like your kids, and some of them go to be doctors and lawyers, some of them are bums, and that one's a bum. I've always liked it personally, but
Billy Joel demands a banner be hung on every place he plays.
well, why not?
Baby.
Well, let's see.
Well, he always wanted to be an athlete or a baseball player, but
Yeah.
he never had the physical prowess. So that's close as he's getting to have his number retired.
I like the Garth Brooks is doing the Central Park concert.
Yeah.
He gets a little bit into New York State of Mind, and out walks Billy Joel, sort of.
When I saw,
It's like, oh, Billy Joel, folks.
when I saw Paul McCartney actually at Yankee Stadium,
Yeah.
he says, "I'd like to bring out a good friend of New York, a good friend of mine, Mr. Billy Joel."
Mhm.
Yeah, and they played. I saw her standing there. I'm like, no
Mhm.
way. Hey, a
Yeah.
moment I usually read about in Rolling Stone, and now I get to witness it.
Oh yeah. remember Billy Crystal talking about, when the old Yankee Stadium before
yeah.
they closed it in, you could actually walk out, and where the exit was, by all the, the monument or the.
Yeah, you used to be able to exit
Yeah.
on the field.
Yeah, he thought they were buried up there. He thought they were tombstones.
This is
Well,
where
why not? Yeah, if you play Yankee, you get buried at Yankee Stadium.
This is where all the great
Yeah.
Yankees are buried.
No, that's Babe Ruth's not buried there. Okay.
No, no.
Let's see, I think we've kind of exhausted this list, but let's get on to the next one here.
God.
Let's see. Let me move this out of the way there, so I'm not sharing the wrong page.
Where are the kitties?
Somewhere out there.
Oh, darn.
Then Rachel Carrington came back, and she got 24 more things to be thankful for this season.
24 more things.
I'm like half tired here because
Yeah.
it wasn't just the whole Thanksgiving, which I honestly don't care about, never really have, and I hate the foods that are common to it. Yesterday was also my husband's birthday.
Okay.
And if you understand anything about being a wife, you understand he kept me busy.
Okay.
In more ways.
He got the presents. Yeah, that's why they was good moaning. Yeah.
Thanks.
You posted
Versatility of the series. Star Trek offers something for everybody. Yeah.
Okay, we can go with that.
All right.
Season 2 of Prodigy. I can't comment because I haven't watched it yet. Because frankly,
don't give a shit.
Just frankly, with Bob Picardo, he's been going on. It's like I expect the political thing from Kate Mulgrew. She's been all along. I know she's going to think, but she never made it personal.
Yeah.
She never insulted the fan base because you didn't vote the same way. Okay. Picardo started going
unlike Spiritus, by the way.
Yeah, it's because Picardo and Tim Russ, they started making it personal. You're a bad person. You feel bad. Now, fuck you. Okay.
Mulgrew did make it personal to the other people on cast with her, though. She was abusive to them because they didn't fit her politics.
Yeah.
And they've all said that.
At least she had no sense not to take on the fans in that respect.
For what it's worth, though, you're tired. I started Thanksgiving yesterday by getting my fingers closed on a car door.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ow.
Fortunately, I was able to get them out before they did any real damage. So, and it didn't get the nail, so I'm not going to. I'm not have to go through that. But still, I got a nice bruise.
Yeah.
And I think I invented a few new curse words.
I lost about half of my nail a few years ago because my husband wasn't paying attention and rolled the car window up on me when I was taking photos.
Let's see. More Star Trek coming next year.
That's not something to be thankful for. They don't know what the fuck Star Trek is.
Not what's coming down the pike. No.
I will argue it's not more Star Trek coming. No. It's more bastardization coming, and I don't think that's something to be grateful for.
So it's going to be better bad Trek than no Trek. No, that again dilutes the brand. It breaks away from the good stuff.
I hate that phrase. No, it's better to not have bad Trek than to fuck with Trek.
Yeah,
you're right.
I don't know who in chat is laughing, but I think they're listening to us be nerds.
Someone who went through the 70s. It's like we had to make our own Trek. It's like.
It's going to be DS90210.
Yeah.
By the way, you have no idea. You have no idea. Just I'm sitting here going, well, I've dreamed in whole episodes of sci-fi shows. My husband's explaining dreams of his to me, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not even this nerdy. Oh dear God, I can't even explain these dreams that he was explaining to me the other day, except for self-defeatist nerdy autism at its peak in his dreams.
Ethan Peck Spock? No,
I
don't think so. I mean, they could have done worse, but
no.
Kate Mulgrew returned to Starfleet. Fine. And again,
I wasn't grateful to have her the first time. Why would I be grateful for that?
Again, I like Kate Mulgrew. Even go back to Mrs. Columbo. So
it's okay. You're allowed to have bad taste. I mean, sorry, she's a bitch.
Picardo going to Starfleet Academy. Shatner's return as Kirk in Unification. Yeah, that was no one was expecting that.
Yeah.
That Anson Mountain didn't get the part of Gabriel Lorca. He did put up for it. Yeah.
Picardo can fuck off. I don't give a shit.
Everybody just.
Apparently, he came across his audition tape for Lorca. Has anybody interested? And I came back. Yeah, as long as you don't tell everyone to fuck off because we didn't paint him the way you wanted to. Because he's another one's gotten kind of goofy on us.
That Star Trek Discovery gave us Strange New World. No.
Only the sense that they're too joined at the hip, so we can ignore both of them. Okay.
I'm going to also say flat out to this whole conversation point also.
Yeah.
Part of the point is, how often do we disagree and argue politically, Bob?
Plenty.
How often do I say I think you're misguided or naive?
All the
Are we
time.
still fucking friends?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Here.
Do we both actually understand each other's viewpoints? That's the fucking difference. And that's what Trek was trying to promote. We're not supposed to agree on everything. For fuck's sakes, we're supposed to support the individual. Sorry.
Let's see.
Little
Star
Trek
Trek,
nerd there,
Star
right?
Trek Lower Decks going out with a bang in one of its best seasons ever. Well, yeah, it's a, you know.
Hey, nothing wrong with going out with a bang. I mean,
yeah.
Another season of strange new turds.
And we get Lower Decks saying, hey, you know, because their thing again, this decision was not by the network. It's not. It's not by the Lower. They still got more story to go. They're frustrated because hey, we got more to do here. And McMahon said, we're going to continue this one way or another. Comic books, a movie, something. We're going to keep this going.
They'll do a comic book.
Yeah, they'll do probably comic book. They already got.
By the way, do actually send me a detailed message about where a lot of this stuff is ending up in Ohio. If the weather isn't bad enough that I can't leave the town I'm going to, then I am going to try to go see some of the Trek stuff.
Okay, it's at the Sandusky Mall.
I'm saying send it to me. I will not remember otherwise. There's memory issues here to play. Brain damage.
All right, but.
Much like your political opinions, I'm brain damaged. I mean,
okay. But there's a talk about doing a live action Lower Decks movie, which the only complication of that one really would be Dr. Tiana. So that's just the mocap stuff, but everyone else, they designed the characters to look like the actual actors.
Can we point out to Steph that she knew I was going to take a cheap shot at you? She shouldn't act surprised or shocked anymore.
Tignataro coming to Starfleet Academy.
Another season of Strange New World. Nah, Tignataro. Well,
I wasn't grateful for the first one. Why the fuck would we want more?
And I like Tignataro.
Okay, can I just say something about Strange New Worlds? Okay, a couple of things were. I mean, they got that first season. They got. I don't want to say they got close, but if you were throwing a dart, they at the very least hit the board.
Yeah,
they hit the board. Granted, it's the outer edge of the board where the numbers are.
Yeah,
the plastic ring is holding the dartboard together.
But they didn't hit the wall next to the board. They hit the board. Okay, yeah, all right.
They hit the board.
But that's still not good enough in my opinion.
It's only a 5-point shot, but you got to hit the board.
I am a shameless perfectionist and an autistic obsessor. I am not going to accept. Oh, we hit the edge of the board. It's not a bullseye. Fuck off. I mean.
Yeah, it's a recognition they're doing it wrong. Okay.
Yeah. You got the look down. You got the look down, but you're still doing it wrong.
Yeah.
And there's no better episode that exemplifies that than the one where they plug the kid into the machine.
Yeah.
And I said, you had a good concept here. Granted, you stole it from somebody else.
Yeah, rip off Ursula K. Le Guin rather blatantly.
Okay, let's be fair. That's a long-standing tradition in Trek, as we've already discussed.
I'm more than okay. Listen, I'm more than willing. You can adapt. You can adapt that story, but you know what? You didn't do anything with it. You could have had a whole episode about society. Well, okay. I'm just reiterating for the purposes of discussion for the audience. You could have had a whole episode about the societies that cling to tradition, and when does that tradition outlive its usefulness? What does the kid know what's going to happen to him? How is that fair to him? I mean,
and when you admit, and Kurtzman admits in an interview, it's a story by Ursula K. Le Guin. I thought it was really. You just admitted it as the thing is airing. This is not like years later. Oh yeah, we kind of did. No, this is not. And also a very different environment.
Remember that episode of TNG with David Ogden Stiers?
I was just waiting for a point, but never mind.
Yeah, I mean, there was like the resolution. He had to go home and he had to go, whack him. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, that was a whole discussion. When does a tradition outlive its usefulness to society and become a detriment?
Yeah.
I mean, it did a great job of that.
Can I finish the point I was making?
Go for it.
Yes.
As I said, because that's what I was saying. I was only acknowledging, which I didn't finish then, that there's a long-standing tradition in Trek of completely borrowing things, even direct names of things.
Yeah.
So on that little bit alone, I'm not going to criticize it much. But when you add it to the other shit and the fact that they don't have the creative marks behind it or anything else, it falls extremely flat. Because if you're going to be sitting there and borrowing from somebody else, you need to fucking do it justice.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I can say that Trek was good at, was at least using it well when they stole from everybody else. And they did.
Talented writers back
Yes.
then. None of these guys is a Gene Coon or a Dorothy Fontana.
Yes.
I don't care if you ripped out Dorothy's ideas for, number one. It's like, and again, this is an era where it's like, no, you can't just think, oh, we like the show, we'll let you get away with it. No, now it's to the point where a Writers Guild grievance against these idiots is going to be a class action lawsuit. There's going to be so many names on it. Starting with Harlan Ellison, and what they did with, because apparently it was in his will, do not let Star Trek touch you sitting there forever, ever again. And what do they do? I am the guardian of forever. If you listen carefully, right here, Harlan, you bastards! I will get you, you motherfuckers! You stay.
I will haunt you till the end of fucking times. I will be scratching down your back.
I'm gonna staple your nuts to your thighs, asshole!
That right there. I was in the middle of a joke.
Bob, shut up.
All right.
Bob, I know you're old and excitable, but I'm here too.
All right.
Fuck.
But yeah, they learned nothing. Just when they wrote the original show in the first place.
I have
to deal with Harlan.
Can you try not to yell when people are wearing headphones?
Okay.
Well, okay. I got the headphones on, but I'm gonna go I'm gonna go use the men's room. I'll be right back.
All right. Fan conventions dwindling as they are. If you got one near you, go to them. Go, because creation's taking over everything now. Michelle, you'll return to Philip by George. No, we don't need to see her playing Dragon Lady stuff. I'm sure she's having fun, but no.
I'm not a big fan of conventions. That part I'm not going to say I'm going to miss.
Well, yeah, no.
Crowds, so, I mean.
Yeah.
Oh.
Unification, giving us a chance to see Kirkman's talk. This one, I think, a large part was also for Shatner to get a bit of closure with Leonard, because he couldn't be there when he did. And the thing is, with Orthodox Jewish thing, he couldn't make it to a funeral either, because he had to bury him in a few days, and he was across the country doing a thing, and it's like he's looking at the thing for the Red Cross, but it's like
yeah, and then some
people are paying large money for me to see me.
Fucking asshole basically tried to turn people against him for not being at that too.
Yeah.
Some dickhead who's more interested in the dick in his ass than actually using his brain. Literally tried to turn the family against Shatner for that, even though he's tried repeatedly to get there.
Yeah. And the family said, no, Leonard loved you. That's not a problem. They did have a falling out for some reason. They
had a long falling out for some reason. That was because they were both shaming egomaniacs and they were trying to work together.
Yeah.
But they got over that, and then he sat there and tried to sabotage a fucking funeral. Takai, really, go eat the dick that's on your ass. I mean,
and again, it's you chalk it up as a Jewish thing. Okay, the family understood completely, because they're very originally when you got to do it, and you can't get you'll be here for the main reception later. Okay, that's what the main thing is. Because with the Jewish one like that, it's not the funeral. That's we got to put the thing in the ground before the rats get to it. That sort of thing. But it's like
I'm really not very forgiving of Takai for half of the shit he does.
No, he's just trying to be a raging queen at this point. No.
And I know I pronounced the name wrong. I don't really fucking care, because it's hard to say the other way, and he doesn't deserve the respect. So I don't care. He can go eat a dick, literally.
Like I said, you didn't hear them about Walter Gaydick, also Jewish. He said, "No, this isn't going to happen, George. Let it go." That's not the way it works. Shut up.
I think I've been very blunt with my opinions of that little fuck face for a long time. it annoys the shit out of me that he's become the piece of shit that he has, because he could have become quite a voice for people who really were persecuted. Instead, he's trying to persecute people.
Yeah. And then we're going to do it. Which party put you in the camps, George? Not mine.
And I'm back.
Yeah.
Well, he's a piece of shit anyways.
Yeah.
So fuck him.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. But no, literally, because of the shit he pulled during that whole era, I can't fucking hate him enough. Anyway.
That's apparently. In the Mark Altman, couple of big books, the 55-year mission. There was both original and next gen, but in the first book, and there was a rather infamous letter that Roddenberry had to send out when things were getting out of hand. And it wasn't just Shatner. Nimoy was also, and D. Kelly was. They were all accused of hogging limelight because they're the big experienced actors in the whole thing, and the rest.
Well, it was also an ego area. The whole sexual revolution was all about self, and it reflected in a lot of the backstage stuff. It reflected in a lot of the outtakes. It reflected in the culture, and it wasn't that they were bad. And yes, Shatner absolutely was a raging egomaniac on that set. Yeah. He says it himself.
He's a leading man. That's part of the job. It's always paid the big bucks.
His name is 10% larger in the opening credits. I mean, yeah.
And then he owned about 2% of the show at the time. He had a vested interest in promoting this thing. And again, it was years later when he had let a lot of the shit George just go on about. But it's like, okay, that's it. It was at the Vegas Con one year, I think 2016. He said, okay, that's it. Let's put this out here. I really don't know George Takei. Really, I'm there 7 days a week. Sometimes doing this thing. He comes in 2 days, does this thing on the bridge. Hi, George. He's off doing something else. We're there every damn day. I got 10 pages of dialogue to learn a day, and and 10 pages for the next day, and work. And this man has been besmirching my name, besmirching my character. And it's like, no, that's it. I don't know him. How was he? I'm talking about, inviting my wedding. Why would I go to your wedding? I don't know you. And he said to the guy, look, why'd you want me at your wedding? You don't know each other. What? No, because you're Captain Kirk. There you go.
Because he wanted everybody to somehow kiss his ass for having a gay marriage. Like it was an accomplishment.
And follow up with, have the big show disinviting him.
Yes, it's a bigger deal. This is reminding me, isn't it? Yes, that's right. That's what I told George.
Yeah. I don't care if you take it up the ass. Just do it behind closed doors.
Care. I mean, George, just lube up your poop chute nice and nice and greasy, and bend over. Yeah, that's how you do it. Okay, pal.
I mean, the fact that when he was doing that interview show, Raw Nerve.
How do I
open invitation? Look, George, come on the show. We'll talk it out. Yeah. What the hell's going on here?
Do you know what the biggest hassle was? Me getting disinvited from George Takei's wedding, getting my name off that damn Kohl's registry. Yeah. That's what it was. He wanted those damn champagne floats. I said, George. Said, George, I can get them cheaper at the Price Club. Yeah. Is there a Price Club? That's how long it's been since I had to go shopping. I have people that take care of this for me.
Yeah. Yes, Priceline's the way to go with it.
That's right. Priceline. I get all my stuff on Priceline. Priceline.com.
I do not understand this obsession that people have. And this goes, I've seen it on both sides, but it's more in the left side and the LGBT. What is the obsession with making everybody else not just accept that you have a right to your marriage, but they have to celebrate your marriage like they have a vested interest in it? I don't give a shit who's poking you where. It does not mean shit to me. And this goes for anybody, left, right, center, gay, whatever the fuck. I don't care who's poking you.
Do you know the last time I celebrated in a marriage was when my wife drowned in the swimming pool? That's when. Too soon.
Wait, especially considering the way that actually happened, though.
Shlomo. How dare you?
That was a gut punch for him. Like, that, Well, you never know where the line is till you cross it. So it's like.
Yeah, I remember that part with Carr, and the girl goes, "You just did," and he's like, "So." That's her fault for half the shit she was admitting in front of him.
Yeah. Okay. But let's see, unification. Okay, fan conventions. Yeah, new
That's
talent
right,
coming to start. Where's the talent half the time though?
Talent sitting right here. Don't you see?
New
Don't you
names
see?
are one thing, but like show me some actual talent. Okay, then we'll talk. Legacy actors who love Star Trek today as they did when they started. Well, those
That's
are
right.
still around.
No, I love Star Trek more now because it means a nice hefty paycheck. That's why.
Yeah.
I go to conventions now.
Yeah,
They pay me handsomely.
Something that Greg
$100 for a photo. Even that Shlomo guy was dumb enough to pay $100.
That's like Craig Kilborn. Say, hey, you've done Star Trek. You're set now. You can just do conventions the rest of your life. Gates McFadden's Investigates podcast.
Fuck that bitch up the fucking ass with a red hot rusty fucking poker.
Yeah, regarding her documentary series, The Center Seat, a lot of it is just repeating the same old myths and legends that no, that's not how it happened. Okay.
I would like
the
to
moment that fucking bitch had her and her fans false flagging me for just pointing out when she said, if you're white, you're racist. All I said is, you're white, right?
McFadden. Yeah.
Her and her fans harassing me, false flagging me, killing an account, harassing my new account for months, and her changing her fucking bio to say person of color. Fuck that fucking racist fucking bitch.
What, white's a color, isn't it?
Pale pink.
Actually, white is a spectral thing, and it's all colors and no colors at the same time, same as black, but that's a whole different discussion. But no, it's like literally that she's such a fucking fake piece of shit.
Yeah, it's McFadden from the Botswana McFaddens, I'm sure. Yeah.
I was investigating Gates McFadden and wanted to see if Gates McFadden had revealed those titties on screen, and unfortunately, no. That's a an investigation that came up dry, unfortunately.
A bit of padding there. Yeah. Star Trek binges. Well, yeah, if you're talking about the good shows, Decon Chamber with Connor Trudeau and Dominic Keating. I don't think were they ever in the Decon Chamber together? Again, that's an audience segment I'm not a part of. So, all right. That Star Trek is never ending. Becoming like the Bataan Death March, though, at this point.
Yeah, but I wish it would end so they would quit pissing on the remains of what was once good.
Yeah, great artists who share their love of Star Trek, so we can all enjoy it. Well, nice. Okay. And the thing is that she didn't do a 24 number, so it's like, okay, yeah, you came up short there, Rach. Okay. So you're supposed to follow up. Then where's number 24? And unfortunately, the comments are no longer enabled here. So
false advertising. Fuck her. I mean,
yeah, she's a bit of a rah-rah anyway half the time. So.
Well,
but let's see.
Yes, when you say, yeah, fuck her, the only thing I can think of is, yeah, I kind of would like to. Maybe 30 years ago. Because I'm William Shatner, that's why. Whenever I make love, I always have to have that music behind me. Boom, 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 boom.
Rob, have you tried therapy?
Anyway.
What?
Look at his face. Is this the face that needs therapy?
All right, get your irrelevant comment out now. What?
Well, going back to the George K thing, I gotta say, I lost all respect for him when he made fun of me at con.
Well, you kind of walked into that one, okay?
But even
you get up there and you open up with Konnichiwa. It's like you're kind of inviting, you're saying this to a guy who speaks Japanese. It's like, yeah, you really want to. He was having fun there, and you open yourself
Konnichiwa.
up. Yeah.
Yes, konnichiwa. I'm as Japanese as In-N-Out Burger. and Brad will be practicing the old In-N-Out later tonight. Oh my.
Okay, let's move on to this one here. This was ranking the worst episode of maybe Star Trek series from best to worst. So you take on all of them here.
Every lambasts Spock's brain, but I will gladly watch Spock's brain on a loop.
Yeah, at least there's a through line. Okay. It doesn't make sense. It's stupid, but it makes sense.
No, it doesn't make sense. You're being way too generous just because modern shit sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Okay.
Cat's Paw is actually worse. I think at least.
Yeah. Well,
I cannot comment on the new shows because I avoid them like a fucking plague. I can say Spock's brain is fucking poetry compared to the Return of Kess episode.
Yeah. But we got here Strange New World, the Elysian. That's where everyone turns in as kind of a. They're all doing kind of a D&D cosplay type of thing.
How about we just say Strange New Worlds and have at it?
I mean, just the entire series. Yeah.
What? Remember that time we were watching Cat's Paw and
oh yeah, and Sylvia makes them and Jones what? Our own cat comes running in. What the hell? Where's it? Okay, animated series, Magics of Magus 2.
See, now I'm not that familiar with the animated series. I mean, I remember bits and pieces of it, but
okay, this is the one where the science is horrible, but it was based on a theory at the time of what was going on. But it's like
well, the science is horrible in a lot of old sci-fi. Look at stuff like the Lucky Star series from Isaac Asimov. The science and that's cringy, but they were still good books.
Yeah, but this one is where they basically meet the devil type of thing and actually get dragged into a Salem witch trial type of thing. Kirk's them having to basically defend Satan. And there's a lot of stuff in there that they're teaching kids. This is like sitting Sandy McCoon, and they're showing Spock drawing a pentagram on the thing. And
I remember. When I had this.
Yeah, that's a ton. Are they allowed to do this?
Yes, I remember.
I have issues with parts of that episode, but from a spiritual standpoint, they did not get a lot of the stuff right. They did go a little too far the other direction, but the intention was to educate people on the issues in the witch hunts and the mistakes of the church past, which are valid. There's reasons why there's metal operas about that have Christian musicians working on making them with the people, Yeah,
I think there's a few I'd rate a little worse, but again, there's only 22 episodes. That's why I don't break it. It's the fourth and fifth. No, it's the fourth season. It's a shortened fourth season, and I count Charter Continues as the fifth season. But there's a few I think I would probably rate a little lower than Magus 2. I don't know which one around. I better take time to look at it. The short treks, the girl who made all of them, frankly, are worthless.
God,
those were so
cringy.
I couldn't give you a dime.
Those were so fucking cringy. Oh my god! It was the worst thing in the world that I actually saw those because the people that are streaming with watching them. It's like, can I just fucking rip my teeth out now and pretend that the pain can numb the other pain?
There's a reason. There's a reason we called it the short bus treks.
Yeah. Oh, I did. I even did a graphic for short bus trek. Yeah. Let's see.
I will say I had a friend that called it that who actually made this image of freaking Mikey Spock licking a window. I need to find that image.
Yeah.
I did the Mikey Spock with the Spock helmet on.
I need to find that image. I know I had it saved somewhere, but I don't remember.
I got Ethan Peck wearing the Spock helmet. Let's see. And DS9, Let He Is Without. Let He Is Without as the worst one. No, I think there's. Because that one had a real good, point about religious extremism ruined the fun for everybody else.
Who came up with the Spock helmet? Who came up with the Spock?
It was a Remco thing, I think. It was one of those scenes where they just had a pre-existing thing to slap a Star Trek label on it.
Yeah. I know the idea, but it was
just before Mego got the contract and started doing something. At least kind of looks like the thing.
I want one.
The thing, it'd be fun to have it.
It'd be fun to have.
In fact, probably put it in the Kirk standee back here.
Well, no offense, guys. There are times you guys act like you could use helmets for your damaged heads, but anyway.
The Spock helmet.
No, but that would.
I love you, brain dead fuckers. I mean,
I would rate. There's quite a. I think most of the first season stuff would be a little less than what he used without sin. Like when they're still using leftover next gen concepts, but wonder why it doesn't work with a space station. Picard,
Spock helmet.
Anything from the first two seasons of Picard, it's like they all go in the same heap. Okay, none of it was worth it. They screwed up everything from start to finish. Until the third season where they didn't care anymore and Charles could go wild. Said, okay, this is how you do it, guys. Pay attention. Enterprise, these are the voyages. Yeah, okay, that one I'd rate. Definitely that one is like everyone hated that. Even the Brandon and even Berman and Bragg have apologized for that one. Like, yeah, we meant well, but it's like, sorry, we screwed up. I mean, the cast. This is how we're ending it. We're ending on basically a holiday episode on another show. Yeah. And again, with season 3 of Picard, pretty much retcon this one out by showing us the refit Enterprise, NX-01. And again, this is where we need to have a 5th season of Enterprise. Account for the time difference. Have it after the Romulan War, where there's picking up the pieces. Have Trip alive and well as chief engineer on the ship. So yeah, it didn't happen. Riker got a bad holodeck program. Okay, they didn't write it right. Okay, originals. And the children shall lead. Okay, that one is up there with the horrible ones. It's certainly a contender for worst one of all time. I think the alternative factor might actually take it, though, for worst of all. Because that was just so screwed up. Discovery. All is possible. No, all of Discovery. The entire freaking show. All 5 seasons. Crap. Am I the only one here? No. Okay. Yeah. Whoops.
No, we're just
All
sitting
right.
here.
Okay.
Not much to disagree with there.
Yeah. All right. The fight on Voyager. It was odd. I'll give it that much.
I do struggle with this kind of a list because I'm really bad at remembering episode names because of my whole memory issue. So I'm just sitting here trying to remember which each one is.
It's the boxing thing with Chakotay. It was a weird little,
Oh, with Chakotay and Q.
I don't know.
No, that was something. It's Cisco and Q.
No, that's no, that's you kind of because you find out that Chakotay is a boxing fan, and then that's a kind of weird existential type of thing. I think it was a case of they're running out of ideas what to do here, and they give Beltran has been trying to get thrown off the show for years at this point. They just keep upping his paycheck. Okay, we're gonna do that play. So was giving him something to do. It's, okay, fine. Well, a great acting challenge for him, so he's having fun. And then Shades of Grey. Only clip show in Star Trek history. No, it wasn't. The Menagerie was Star Trek's first clip show, and again, part of where Roddenberry's real genius was as a producer. That was network television's only 2-part clip show.
At the time, they did a lot of them after.
And a 2-parter?
Yes, in different sitcoms after.
Who's 2-part clip shows?
They did a when PBS was taking some chances, they actually did an episode of something called the Stephen Banks Show. And if you ever get the chance to see the Stephen Banks Show, I mean, it's fantastic. It's on YouTube. All the episodes are on YouTube, but they did an episode where it was a clip show, but it was a fake clip show. And they just, hey, remember that time when it just kept getting more and more outlandish.
Okay.
Well, then there was the short-lived series for Clerks where they did a clip show as the first episode, basically.
Oh,
second episode.
Yeah.
And they were showing the same clips over and over.
Well, that was also with Clerks. They ran them out of order. That's part of it right there.
Yeah, that one was apparently supposed to actually be the first episode, not the second.
No, it was. Yeah, they fucked up. But Kevin Smith on it. You don't fuck with the mouse because he complains like.
But I do love a show that only had 6 episodes. B, right at the start of it, let's do a clip show. It's like, what the fuck? I mean,
that show got wild again.
I have that show.
I've got it, yeah. And, the 2 pinheads. One of us.
Why do you think I do that all the time?
I know, yeah.
Does it actually surprise you that I have that?
Yeah.
Not really.
The comic books that went along with it were also pretty insane too.
See, I actually, as much as I understand why so many people connected with the movie,
yeah,
I found the movie as fucking much as I swear. A lot of the times with a lot of these movies, I feel like they're throwing swear words in just for the sake of swearing, and that's where I kind of felt like with Clerks more than some of the others in that series. And it's also the whole doing it in the color scheme stuff. I have vision issues. I don't like doing that. I don't. It's one thing if they were made in the era when that's how things were made. It's another if you're doing it to be artsy.
Yeah.
But I understand why people connected to it and the success of it. But I could get into the show more because it was more visually there and more just off the wall.
Yeah. Okay, this one, like, a little more. I think it's kind of indicative that they put the picture upside down. Somehow didn't catch it. But the franchise would have happened with or without the stop motion pictures. I think so. Certainly not in the form it took. But yeah, I think it's also being with time. The only thing
is it my end breaking up or his?
He's breaking up. How am I coming through here?
Okay,
you're fine.
Well, okay. I was also paused a bit there too. No, the only thing
you really broke up. We didn't hear hardly anything you said.
Okay, well, we'll start over then. But people keep forgetting that at the time this movie was made, all we had was the original series and the animated, and the animated were not getting rerun that much. Mm-hmm. So really, it was the animated and some novels in the Gold Key comic books. But so they were taking a chance on this. But when it comes to Star Wars Motion Picture, the few things in the franchise may be labeled as both a success and a failure. This happens to be the case with the film, however, it pushed the bounds of visual expectations at the time, giving audiences a sight spectacle that few other films were capable of the time.
That's one of the most beautiful ship porn ever made in sci-fi. And some of the worst costumes ever made in sci-fi.
Yeah.
They were the neutrals.
Yeah, it comes up.
It wasn't just that. They were so badly sewn. I couldn't stop staring at the edges of the costume where the sewing patches were.
Oh, yeah.
The whole movie, I'm sitting there staring at the costumes going, what the fuck? I've sewn better than that when I was on muscle relaxers.
Yeah, nobody missed those things when they went by. Because they also, in case of they, kind of forgot, occasionally the actors have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, but when you're autistic and you have an obsession with making things and you grew up sewing your own clothes because you were poor as fuck, you really obsess over the seam edges on that. It really hyper distracts me.
Yeah, especially when they're in the jumpsuit, especially, it's like, they literally had to have somebody from wardrobe go with them to the bathroom to open up a seam, then go and then sew them back into their costume. And the boots connected with the thing, that was a nightmare by itself. So that nobody wanted those costumes back. Certainly not in that form. But the push.
I didn't understand the design of them. Anyways, they were so tacky. They looked like badly made children's pajamas. They did not look like anything that belonged in sci-fi.
Yeah.
Or military, or some kind of quasi-military organization.
Like, considering this thing was only set 3 years after the original series.
How the hell did they go backwards that much in that short of a time, right?
Well, yeah, it's like when there was still a push for new phase 2, they were actually dragging the old costumes out of storage. They were going to be in the original uniforms, literally.
They should have been.
And yeah, if you see the test footage when they're getting the sets out, a lot of them are in original style uniforms or something close to it.
Because as much as I love that movie, and I think it's been underrated for how special a lot of it was, those costumes actually make me fucking cringe.
Yeah, no, it's a case of they thought, well, we can't put that on there. Have you tried it? Actually put it on screen, see how it looks. Don't just assume. I think people say, oh, you could put the old sets on there. They looked horrible. And then Enterprise puts the old sets, puts the old sets and puts them on. They look fantastic. In fact, Doug Drexler, the fact that these controls, they look even more futuristic than what we have on Enterprise, because you can't tell what the hell this does. Like, I could plop down at the helm of the NX-01 or the Enterprise D, and you can follow. Yeah, okay, here's where you set the thing. Yeah, I can fly this ship. I sat at the helm. It's just buttons. Okay, I think this steers things down here with the escalator, but beyond that, I have no fucking clue how to do this. And that kind of, you need to know what the hell you're doing here. What?
I just need some
Some what?
I just need some quick help, honey.
Hold on.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the Wrath of Khan they made. So okay, yeah, we're gonna make them actually look like they're in the Navy. So
I think even at the time, I think they went a little too far. But it's like, at least
Yeah.
at least they can go to the back. Oh, back in a second here. Help.
no problem.
All right. Oh.
Brother.
I think there's a balance point. I think Wrath of Khan was better than the other, but I wasn't 100% sold on them either. Honestly, I am such a snob in so many ways. I am such a pain. But at least I acknowledge that about myself, right?
Yes, you own it. You own
I
that part.
own my bitchhood. I mean, I fucking live it. Fuck off. The interesting thing is that my ticks decided to start ticking fuck off at my mother last night on my Thanksgiving call.
Really? Oh no.
No, she was laughing.
Oh well, she's your mother. She knows.
It's like, I'm sorry. Sorry. Shit.
Oh god.
She's not exactly a fan of that much swearing, but it was okay. It was okay. It's like, oh god. I what to tell people when they go, oh, this isn't for attention. It's like, do you realize what kind of attention I get for this shit?
There's better ways to get attention.
Oh, fuck yes. Do you realize when you tick the wrong thing in public, how people will suddenly react to you?
All right.
But yes, it was an interesting moment last night when, in the middle of the Thanksgiving call, I started ticking fuck off at my mother.
Okay.
At least she laughed.
Yeah.
It could have gotten much worse.
All right. So the shortfalls of the film are made even more abundant when you remember that the film is basically a remodified version of the series Gene Roddenberry wanted to take in the 70s.
The film was
Phase 2. Like, yeah.
The film was a. You said it was essentially Star Trek Phase 2, but
We don't know Phase 2.
It was, according to them, originally written to be one of the episodes.
Well, yeah, it was going to be the pilot episode. But yeah,
and then they stretched it into a movie. That is where the pacing issues comes in.
Yeah,
it is slow
because even if it was a 2-hour episode, that's 2-hour episode with commercial breaks.
But it wasn't written as a 2-hour episode. It was supposed to just be a boom episode. Yeah,
it bounced. It was in flux at that point. This was during the same period. They're still arguing it was going to be a series of TV movies or a full series or what.
I also look at it and think if they made it into an hour-long episode, it would have been too short too.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a lot that actually does happen in there. And they had to add in a lot to explain the cast getting back together and all that. So there was context they had to add also, which did help pad it up. They kind of over-padded that part. But it's like, I don't think it would have worked quite as an hour episode. It was a bit much as a long movie.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was somewhere in between it would have been its best form. But it's still a good movie.
Yeah. It was kind of shown that hey, we can do the serious sci-fi stuff. It's not all pew pew, because that's the and yeah, I think because of Star Wars, they also leave out because again the original reaction was when Star Wars hit it big. Well, that's it. We've missed our shot. We can't do a movie now. They've already done. But then Close Encounters came out right on the same time and hit just as big.
I guess it was in an era when sci-fi was hit or miss, and often by the time somebody watched one sci-fi, they weren't in the mood for another. It was not as easy of an era for that.
Well, again, the general studio thinking was that sci-fi fans only see like one big movie a year, and then the fact that they came out and saw 2 big movies in the same year, it's like, really? They'll do that? Okay, we're back on.
I think part of the issue with that also is that there weren't that many big movies. They based all this on a past era.
Oh yeah, they always do.
It was a valid point at one point in history in Hollywood, but it wasn't by the time this came out either.
Mm-hmm.
But they still were thinking that way in the past, and they hadn't let go of that. So
but before the 3 shows, original series, animated series, and the failed Phase 2 concept. That doesn't count as a show.
Penis juice.
They were working towards that, but maybe there would have been a 4th show eventually, but it's also debatable how well would a show have done at that time. might have been okay, but it's also, because a part of what really got Star Trek
The heck?
the mileage it got was the feeling of unfinished business that had been cut short, and they forced in another series might have wrapped things up enough where it's okay, and then it would have, all withered away and died in the mid 80s, by then, but the movie, well, about another way, and then stretching on, and it still kept the billions of when they bring it back to TV, and that's eventually when mid 80s they finally start talking. Okay, maybe it's time to bring this back as a show, because they built up the fever pitch enough, But it was not inevitable, because if that movie had failed, that's it. They don't care enough,
Yeah.
Because it's also like, then people keep missing the point. As much as we grumbled about, the pacing of the thing, or just boring, it was still one of the biggest money makers Paramount ever put out to that point.
Yes. Look, we as Trek fans will criticize all kinds of shit about it. I just did, but I also still like it. I still have the collector's edition of it. I still fucking watch it.
Yeah,
there's a point here, for fuck's sakes. We are nerds. Nerds will hyper criticize the things we love because we wish it was perfect, but we also still love it.
Yeah, we want to get the nuts and bolts of it. Yeah.
We are protective. We are demented. We are nerds. We are our own fucking breed of what the fuck.
We want to get into the nuts and bolts of this thing. We want to get into that universe. Look at these books back here. This is what we get into.
I said, if you go in my basement between Star Trek, Star Wars, novels, and comics, I have over 2,000 books between them in my basement, because that's where all my books are.
I mean, we got
the
boat anchor, an encyclopedia here. We got a couple copies of the concordance.
These people that go, well, where's all your media and stuff? It's like, it doesn't fit in here. I have to do my artwork. I have to do other shit. I don't have space for my media in my office room. All my movies and DVDs are around my husband. He's created himself a cave out of them.
Yep.
And he loves it in there. He just sits there surrounded by DVDs going,
at
his computer like this perfect little nerd.
Mine.
And the books are lining shelves across the bottom of the basement because that's where I have space for them.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have news for you. This is not a big house.
And by the way, that's also why when certain producers, we can't keep it straight anyway. Why do you care? How many hundreds of dollars go back around that shelf right now? I mean,
hundreds.
I forget how the price of the encyclopedia was god awful.
We were
if it hadn't been for Stuff's big, back pay thing for disability, we never would have gotten it.
We were going over stuff in my office stuff with my husband, all the DVDs. As far as we can tell, between the DVDs and books in this house, we have somewhere around 4,000 DVDs. And again, we discount everything as one DVD if it comes in the same box.
Yeah.
We have somewhere around 20,000 books in the basement.
Yeah.
This house is a fucking library. Do you guys understand this? Do you know how expensive that is, even using thrift stores and shit?
No, we got the big, These Are the Voyages books where basically it's like making a Star Trek writ large.
Hell, I've got a bunch of those corny Highlander novels they wrote. I mean... all kinds of shit over here, man. So to those who go, she's not is she really one of the nerds? She's surrounded by art supplies. It's like, yeah, because I do my art in here because I'm at my desk.
Yeah.
My entertainment's in the other rooms. It's me and my husband alone in here. We have 3 bedrooms upstairs. Bedroom, my office, his office, and then a fully finished basement. I guess that the basement is just a giant storeroom for nerd shit. And so is half of my husband's office.
Yeah. Multiple copies of the blueprints of different.
I've got blueprints of Star Trek ships and stations and stuff like that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's like
I was working on my own. I was working on my own deck plans of the fucking ship. Okay.
What do they think I was using to study how blueprints were made when I was studying architecture?
Yeah.
Guess what? It was Trek.
when you start to, who cares? We care. We wouldn't have spent, small fortunes on this shit. Or also, what it actually hangs together pretty well. Or wouldn't have been, this shit wouldn't be here in the first place. You don't see a South Park concordance anywhere because it's not meant to hang together. There's no way to put, you can do it. Well, Kenny dies every episode up to a certain point. That's the gag. It's it's part of the whole thing is that they don't present. But back to this here. So they probably would have gone through because they were building sets that commissioned scripts. Most everyone had been signed. They were on pay or play contracts. They're going to get paid regardless. So they were going to do something. But that's it. Maybe we didn't get 6 films, and then the Next Generation era showed. Yeah, and then it would have wrapped up, and that
We love our nerd world. And when you fuck with our nerd world, you're cutting a part of our hearts out, and we want to hurt you back. Do you understand what a nerd is, people? Yeah. We obsess. We are basically the embodiment of autistic obsession.
But again, he's kind of giving short shrift. Friends is big and popular. Star Trek never have just one film, but there's one that kicks it off.
And if they're not successful, do. There are actually many franchises that only ever had one film because they tanked.
Yeah. What?
That fucking lootly happens.
When you get a moment.
Which will be a while. God.
So when people say this stuff, they don't understand nerds. They look at us like we're freak mutants. Okay, we kind of are, to be fair, but they say all this shit. You don't fucking understand what it means to be a nerd. We live this shit. It's who we fucking are.
Because they mentioned, look at Battlestar Galactica and V, both cult level shows, and got back to 20. Yeah, you know why? Because Star Trek did big, and the studios say, hey, what have we got? What Paramount's raking in dough with the Star Trek shit. What have we got?
See, when people go, well, there were these movies after this one. It's like, you do realize the success of previous movies always dictates the willingness studios have to make future movies that are similar. Weird-ass movies like Stardust and Inkheart and shit never would have been made if there wasn't so much success with other fantasy movies right before.
Yeah, and Galactica would not have been brought back if Star Trek had not been a big thing. And Universal saying, hey, if that first movie gone down, there's no way in hell these other ones would pick. Well, we can't do that. Look what Paramount did with Star Trek. They died horribly. We're not doing that.
What we have now, because there was that success then, is a reflection of that success then, not a reflection of life without it.
Yeah.
You can't say, oh, it would have happened anyways because these things happened after. Every fucking thing affects another thing. Every success has a failure tied to it. Every failure has a success tied to it. Everything that's signed, everything that studios go, I'm willing to take a bet on that, has to do with the success rates and the numbers on other fucking things before it. Intellectualism, it helps when you're actually looking at this shit.
Yeah. We would have gotten plenty of Star Trek content following the film, but just did different. No, if that movie had not hit, that would have been it.
Yeah.
They'd have just been content raking in money with the reruns and selling the occasional licensed toys and selling and doing novels, but that would not have been anywhere near close to what it was. So a lot was riding on that movie.
Just stop. People with trying to assume shit you don't under fucking stand. God, I realize I swear a lot when I start getting passionate on Trek shit.
Yeah. I mean, you can't, at this point, it's like, you gotta kind of drag out the old, Baron Munchausen thing. Was your dad, Charlie?
I am a nerd. Yeah. And I understand the nerdness of this entire world and culture. And guess what? It's not going away. We are what we are.
It's like
live with it.
Yeah, but the impact of the larger direction of Star Trek is debatable at best. No, it's pretty much certain. I mean, the same thing. If this movie hadn't hit, there wouldn't have been a franchise. And it's cemented with Star Trek 2.
Yeah.
That one was okay. Now we got something. It wasn't just a one-off. So give 2 enough praise for that respect. Like, yeah, the first movie showed that there was something to be mined here. There was a potential here. 2 is like, yes, definitely, and it became a movie series. But even then, it was still the constant thing. When do you come back to TV? This is a TV show. When are we coming back to TV?
It's time to wake up, people. Wake up and smell the Trekness.
Yeah.
We are nerds, and you can't silence us. And to all the people who go, oh, just accept the new Trek. No!
Bullshit.
Stop your shit. I believe when you try to tell us what to do, my statement on that will go straight to the insurrection line. To hell with our orders.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
Or back up a couple movies, if I were you, my response would be go to hell.
You won't bend me, you won't break me, go and fuck yourselves.
I'll tell you one thing about, the last bit on Undiscovered Country. Kirk's last line again, that's how they should have ended. That's how I was expecting when the motion picture wrap up with him, that line, second star to the right, straight on till morning. That's what it should, not that out there, that away. Like, come on. That was a bit of a cheap shot.
Using the line from Peter Pan did somehow work so fucking beautifully as a Trek thing.
Yeah, I know.
Second star to the right, straight on through to morning.
Yeah.
There's something about it that appealed that way.
Yeah.
And look, I am a shameless nerd.
Yeah.
Would you guys agree with that?
Oh,
Especially with the rants I've been having today.
Yeah, just today. Just the last 10 minutes.
But there's an amount of reason that we all need to fucking understand. First of all, your fifis don't mean jack shit. Nobody cares about your crying ass bitch. Sorry. I'm not sorry.
That's
okay, that was a good time for this one. Sorry.
Kermit's attacking.
We are what we are because we care. And that's why they don't get it. They don't get it because they think, well, let's just accept it because at least they're getting new shit. If we were normie bitches in normal cultures, probably.
When the new shit is shit, no, not going to work that way. Okay.
Whereas when you're dealing with Trekkies, if you're giving us shit we don't want, we're bitches. And the same goes for Star Wars, and the same goes for these nerd cultures. We don't like you fucking with our lives and our cultures. We want you to leave it the fuck alone.
I have to. I had a Kermit out when I was out west. I got to get another one. Oh my God! Get rid of the Kermit. No, I like the Kermit.
No. In fact, one channel came across. He's got a professional cartoon. He's even got a book about cartooning. But he talking about making his own Kermit. And it was Eden Toys is what this, and did use the same one. The only difference is that a vest and had a vest and a bow tie. It was a Christmas version. But it's basically the same Kermit, and it's because it's close to full size.
Yeah.
And just a few modifications. You had a couple of snips in the mouth. That's one thing I didn't know. There's a couple of snips that holding the mouth in place, and just at the bottom, and it is a tight fit. I've had to sew up the throat a bit, and I've got to redo that. But this is one. It's the best looking of a Kermit toys that come out. It actually looks like Kermit. They got the face right.
Look, I admit I have obsessions that if I was a stronger person, would I want this stuff in my house considering what these companies are doing now? No, but this is the stuff I connected to, the stuff that made sense to me, the stuff that made me feel right. And I don't want to give up some of this stuff, but I'll admit I've caved a few times and bought stuff from companies I don't like because I'm obsessed with certain characters to the point I can't give it up.
Mm-hmm.
But that's part of the nerd culture. We love what we are. We do.
Batman's got dust on him. Like this Batmobile I'm building up. I actually tracked down these, these two jokers, so they can sit in sit in there.
Why did I spend so much money to get my husband a Blu-ray box set of the collector's series for Batman?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's fucking Batman and we're nerds.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why did it spark like a 4-hour debate on Batman between me, Liddy, and Richard and my husband? Because we're fucking nerds.
Why have I spent the last literally 50 years tracking down that paint by number set?
God, I am such a fucking nerd. And every so often I'll say something to one of my friends going, "You're such a nerd," and they'll just look at me and go,
"Your point?"
Like, you're saying this?
Mm-hmm. Reminder, I'll be streaming with Robert Meyer Burnett during his episode 1000 celebration of Robservations. I'm scheduled to go on at 9:20 p.m. Pacific time.
When's that happening?
Tonight. It's going right now.
Oh, he's okay.
So I'm scheduled to show up at 9:20 Pacific. So it'll be 10:20 here. And we're going to spend 20 minutes discussing Kurtzma era Trek. The carnage will be glorious.
And that's the thing I don't think most people really understand. We have such an amazing culture as nerds. Mm-hmm. Now, do we argue and bitch with each other? Do we get in wars over which nerd culture is best and shit like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have problems as nerds. We're obsessive. We absolutely don't let go of shit. We are what we are.
No, Doomcock did one recently.
Glorious.
Yeah. Doomcock did one about Screen Rant. I think did a ranking of best to worst Star Trek captains, and he made a point though. This is going to be just old school fan fight. Okay, where we argue vociferously over our points, but then afterwards, go to Burger King and have a share a meal. That's what
And the problem is that people don't seem to understand. We like fighting.
Yeah. Yes, that's
so they come into these cultures and they try to hijack them, and they're like, "Oh, you're so aggressive. You're fighting about it." It's like,
you're not. You're new here, aren't you? It's what we do. Yeah.
We're fighting about it. Did you think we were just going to sit here and go, "Oh yeah, we love your new ideas"?
Mm-hmm.
We're not cheerleaders. We're fucking vicious.
It's like I've seen letters from back when the show was still on NBC. People asking questions. How come the transporter flashed 3 times in this episode, and only twice in that one, and then 4 times in another one? It's like back then. In the 60s, we're still making notes on this shit, okay?
You will never silence the nerd spirit.
No. Like the only other real major geek culture thing going at the time, and again, a lot of people came from that, was the Society for Creative Anachronism, the SCA. Where the common criticism is that's not period. Where someone does something that doesn't quite fit the area you're supposed to be portraying. Okay? And some of it gets insanely, that tartan is not period to what you're doing. That level.
Oh, I've gotten in wars with that on mythology and history a lot, actually. Yeah. That is my specialty. I am. Yes, I like sci-fi. And yes, I'm a Trekkie, but I am so much more a mythology nerd. You don't even fucking want to know. I am a history language nerd.
Yeah.
I will get into arguments over people or which words are the early Latin to English, to Old English, to Victorian English, and all that. We will argue and debate it. And It's glorious. That's a whole other side of me that's not out as often on the Trek channel. I mean,
one thing I kind of like was going on eBay and someone advertising something as this, but that's not because recent example, guy saying, "Oh, I'm putting up this thing like, a diamond select." It's not a diamond select effect. Thing is, advertising it, and it was missing the battery cover. But saying it's a Diamond Select, no, this is a Playmates one. Diamond Select doesn't have this, okay? In fact, I even sent him pictures comparing one of these and one of these, okay? Yeah, the handle is skinnier. The phaser one comes out. It says Playmates on the side here.
By the way, I don't think a lot of people who make those mistakes are necessarily malicious. I think they're just not paying attention. I came up again. No, Diamond's like that. Look, the people you're selling this to know the difference between a Diamond Select and a Playmates phaser, and you can be nailed for false advertising. And I'm not saying necessarily on him or what, but generally most of the people I've seen make those mistakes aren't trying to maliciously make the mistakes.
Yeah,
they're just a little ignorant and not paying attention.
Yeah.
But you got to be careful with nerds because we know our shit.
Yeah, and you start, trying to rip us off. It's like the claws come out.
You go down to these. Oh God, you can have the greatest time ever if you make it to Trek Fest over here, because there are multiple communities from Amish to partly modernistic Mennonite to other stuff, all around and connected to Riverside. And so, yes, you get like the Yoder tractor being driven by them through the Trek Fest next to the spaceship float next to, and these guys dressed full Amish to hilt, standing there with people in Trek uniforms, arguing and debating social issues for science future versus past and stuff.
Yeah.
And it is an experience. It is fucking weird. It's fun, but it's fucking weird. I mean,
that was one guy. He was what he had was a squirt gun. It said Diamond. No, that. But he didn't just say down because I don't know if Diamond Select put it on or not. They might have, but talking about how electronics and lights and sounds, I can tell by the trigger. I said that's a squirt gun. Listing was gone rather quickly.
We know our shit. We love our shit. We're nerds. You cannot silence the nerddom. I mean,
it's like it's gone to the level like people. When we've gone to the point of being able to go through actual screen used props and identify which one is which, because I think recently one of the hero props from the series came up. And very good condition, but actually was to match it with, again, the advantage of Blu-ray out now. As you can see, the little scuffs and marks. Yeah, in fact, point out the one that came up was the one that was in the photo section of the Making a Star Trek book. Like, this is the very one, And
I just looked up and went, "Oh God, I need to not bend over because you can really see how white my scalp is." Holy crap. That albino skin against the red hair at certain angles. Oh my God. Yikes. Fuck. I mean,
but
that's like, we love what we are. You tell a nerd, oh, but you're just obsessing over a show. And we sit there and go, and it's a show. Duh. And
in the words of Harlan Nelson, better with doing that than going out and running the streets and stealing hubcaps. Okay, so
we will ever be obsessed with our nerdiness. I mean, nerdy.
It's like watching the clips from Pawn Stars where the lady brings in herself and she's got a copy of a script and a phaser and a communicator and a tribble, and somehow these are from the show. It's like, well, there's no way to tell a tribble. Okay, could be doubtful. There are only 500 made for the show, and I think they all went to cast and crew members. David Gerald's got a few. He'll auction them, sell them once in a while. He brought one with him when they did Trial and Tribulations. He made sure he brought one from home for the original show. The phaser was it was clearly a 1970s or 80s, reproduction from a fan thing. The communicator, same thing. There's people looking like, yeah, that's a coil one. This is from Starfleet Command. They made that one. And the scripts, it's like Lincoln Enterprises is cranking those out by the ton. Okay.
And look, do I think that it's bad to have that stuff? No, but it's not the high value people try to say it is.
No, it's not. I don't know how many times I've old 70s short box model of the Enterprise, and they're slapping like $100 price tag on it. Like no, I've frequently gotten old long box kits, which are the real old ones, for like $15-$20. Okay.
Look, I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna just give you money purely because the name's on it.
Yeah.
And there are some nerds who even want all the bad stuff that people have made, all that, just so they can compare it and shit. And I've known nerds like that. Sometimes I think my husband's like that at times. Some of the shit he buys, holy crap, it's useless. Yeah. And then he's like, I don't care about this shit anymore. It's like, then why did you buy it in the first place?
I've got a few things like that. Just give me like the spaceflight chronology. The timeline is so far off, it's not even funny. It's got a few concepts here and there because again, some of the people involved, Susan Sackett, Rick Sternbach.
It's like the ship that I painted on the paddle.
Mm-hmm.
I painted it correctly, but because paint is a medium, that is not precise unless you're really masterclass. I still get people going, well, it's slightly off in alignment and length. It's like, it's a fucking painting.
Yeah.
On a piece of wood. It's not going to be precise.
If you're working from a photo, then it's like, there's some distortion because of where the camera was in relation to the model. So,
well, it's based off of a still in the show, actually. It's paused on, so.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be precise. That's not the point when you're making fan art. And honestly, it's not any less precise than half of the official stuff they made.
In fact, that one big painting of mine with the Enterprise approaching the giant basketball, that one, originally I had a screen cap of Enterprise flyby, but because of the thing, it looked wildly distorted. So I eventually went back and fixed that one.
But I've still had nerds go, you could have done this like this. It would be more like the show. It's like, I could have if I'm actually that good at painting.
Yeah.
I did my best,
Matter of now thinking about the way I did it is they had these little projector, viewfinder thing with a little film strip where I was in the click and look thing, you watch a little clip go by, and this had the film strip from By Any Other Name, but it included the opening flyby. It's like 8mm film, and eventually, some years go by, and I got to fix that painting because it looks screwy. So.
Maybe I wasn't precise. I wasn't precise, but I made a fucking paddle with an Enterprise painted on it and named it To Boldly Spank. I'm pretty sure that's a very nerd moment.
Oh, God, yeah. But I actually broke out our old 8mm projector and strung the film in it and paused it right at the frame I want. Yeah, there we go. That's the angle I need. And projected that out of the thing and drew it on.
Oh.
Still got the film strip somewhere.
This is when we rant about nerdy shit because we can.
There's one point I paused at the wrong spot. The shutter was still open and started burning the film. Oh, so there's a melted spot on one point.
Well, that was a dumbass move, wasn't it?
Well, I was in high school. Oh yeah.
No.
Not
proves the dumbass thing.
I'm not sure I was in high school. Maybe in junior high, but even then, 8mm home movies. That projector hadn't been broken out in years.
Quit defending it. I'm just saying it was a dumbass move. You don't have to always defend every dumbass.
Well, I caught it quick. It didn't
dumbass.
burn completely through, so it was just a spot on one frame on the film. But one thing that bugged me for a while, and when Channel 4 was running Star Trek out here on every day at 4 o'clock, for Spock's brain, at one point, I'm thinking the film broke at about the point where they first beamed down, and Kirk's, and just reflexively, tricorder rings Mr. Spock, Mr. Scott, it broke around there. So that little bit is gone. Because back then they were still sending film canisters out to the stations. They were, they hadn't gotten to doing, videotapes yet. It was, But because when they first ran, they still had the scene in there, so I knew I had seen it. So it wasn't a cut for more commercial. I was just like, no, the film broke. So you get the log entry, and then boom, they're on the planet. I'm guessing maybe it would have been, too much of a pain in the butt to get a new copy. So.
Pardon me a sec. I had to get my husband. I'm starting to tick more if you haven't noticed.
Yeah.
And the blood sugar is getting down there.
Kind of spazzing out a bit there.
Fuck you.
Well.
So, because when my blood sugar drops, I tick more because I think it's because I have less control over my whole body at that point. Just basically issues playing off each other.
Actually, got 14 people watching.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not saying a word now.
Hey, sustained audience of more than 10 people. I'm happy. It shows progress.
Yeah, people seem to be enjoying our rambles today. Do you all need therapy? Fuck off. I mean,
yes, they all need therapy, and I am the one to apply it.
No, God, no.
Welcome to Dr. Shatner's house of remedial.
Vibrator.
Yes, that too.
We're in a sexual revolution, baby.
Every sperm is sacred. Every sperm is good.
Oh God! Don't do that in Shatner's voice again.
It's disturbing, isn't it?
Oops.
Yeah, that actually was.
Gotta start remote.
That's nightmare fuel. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Brother.
Get that. Rush Limbaugh, talent on loan from the profits with half my positive net tied behind me just to make it fair. Subspace Freak is going to join the show. 1-800-282-2882.
I'm going to say this as gently as I can because I say it as a friend and I love you guys. You need fucking therapy.
Oh, yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Especially when after what I've been through.
Yeah.
Realizing who said that and my own history and my own psychological issues aside, that's actually probably why I can see it in other people. Mine has to stop that.
Well.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Well, we have an audience, so how about them asking some questions once in a while instead of just sitting there?
Just
like we can't do all of the entertainment. You have to interact once in a while. This is You gotta
I
be
don't
careful
know.
you gotta be careful when doing Shatner because you can get into a rut there and it's like tough to get back out.
I don't screw around with voices or speech patterns or stuff because if
Yeah.
I do, I don't get out of them
Yeah.
because the OCD autistic side comes out and I
Yeah.
get stuck in loops and I can't. We try, you know, those you'll do these games where you like say things certain ways as back and forth with each other. We did that repeating, doubling once, and we did it for a few minutes, and then I got stuck in a loop of it, and I couldn't stop saying everything twice for over 12 hours.
Back in a bit. Yeah.
So just so people understand.
Yes, just like Shlomo stuck in a loop now. I said, Shlomo, cut it out, or you'll be doing this all day.
Fuck off.
That's right. He said, fuck off. He said, fuck off. I'm going to do this anyway. I said, oh, great.
Have you tried therapy?
Who, me or Bill Shatner?
The fact that you think you could speak for the other one is just proving my point.
No, I have not tried therapy.
I mean, I say it with love, but holy shit. I mean, some people are just crazy. And that's not me. I'm such a sweet and innocent angel.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck off. You know, my ticks don't help me in that case.
No, they do not. Oh, boy.
So what are we supposed to do with Bob there anyways? He
Well,
drives us all nuts, right?
Yeah, well, he's the master of ceremonies right now, so.
No wonder we're all fucked up. I mean,
yes.
Bob came back in time to hear me talking shit.
Oh, some say that he uses dilithium crystals as a condiment. And that he's the reason there's an energy barrier at the edge of our galaxy. All I know is it's called the steak.
That still gives him better taste in condiments than fucking Anime Night. The fuck is wrong with that boy?
I don't know.
I literally, half the shit I've seen him eat, I would actually throw up if I tried to eat. And then I just stare at him like
some kind of trauma. I don't know.
No, it's trauma is what we're going through when he does that shit in front of us.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe witnessed a collision between a taco truck and a Hostess delivery truck. I don't know. Oh, Twinkies and salsa. That sounds good.
Twinkies and salsa. Actually, does sound good.
Oh,
no, it doesn't.
No, not really.
Like I said, I've watched him sit there on stream and take Reese's cups and dip them in barbecue sauce and eat them. And I'm sitting there looking at him going, I know you're my friend, but what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, generally, the sweet and savory thing is settled with the peanut butter in the chocolate, okay? Yeah.
And sweet and savory is one of those that there's some types that are okay, but a lot of the stuff people make in it is just fucking gross.
It's like chocolate covered pretzels. You know, that's one you blame mall rats on. Yeah.
Okay, I don't like those either.
I'll gorge them. You know?
Well, I am a snob, remember?
Yeah.
We've had this conversation.
But also just just the whole exchange. Say, would you like a chocolate covered pretzel? They're kind of melty, but oh, they're delightful.
I do love that part, though. Honestly, I think Mallrats gets a bad rap, but it's actually a really good movie.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Yeah.
I'm also fucked up. I mean,
it is pretty much what Jason Lee, launched his career.
Well, everybody needs a starting point.
Yeah, and just like he's going to play it big. He played it big. Okay.
Oh God, the
Affleck also started out doing
freaking the movie I always liked was I was Chasing Amy because all the comic book guys just reminded me of everybody I was hanging out with.
Yeah, and you know.
Yeah, I didn't actually date a lesbian, even though, some of them might have been questionable by now.
Yeah. They're just a tracer. No. Inking does more than just tracing the lines, asshole.
Tracer.
Yeah.
You would Tracer.
Inking and colorist work, you get the least respect for honestly the most work. It's a lot more detail you do than the base drawing.
Yeah. It's not just, doing the grunt work on a color.
Speaking of somebody who's done a few colorist and inking projects with people, we get almost no credit. We get shout out all the time, and we sit there and spend way more hours detailing over every fucking detail than the people that create the drawings do.
Yeah.
Sorry, is that a little bit of a rant there? It's only true. They shit on us for it, but we're the ones doing the detail. We're the ones doing the hard work. God, I really am a nerd. What the fuck is wrong with me?
Just remember the whole debate of, okay, let's demonstrate this here. Drawing the street there. Okay, in the middle here is $100 bill. Up here's Santa Claus. Up here's the Tooth Fairy. Here's the the man-friendly lesbian, and here's the man-hating bull dyke. Which one's going to get the $100 bill first? The man-hating bull dyke. Why? Because the rest are figments of your fucking imagination.
I'm just going to sit here and be as sweet and innocent as I can be.
Yeah.
Okay.
I realize that the as I can be is an important part of that statement.
All right, I gotta get up for a second. I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what's wrong with me some days, but to be fair, I mean, most actual lesbians I know, actual lesbians, and there's a reason I put this as a caption on it. It's not about hating men; it's just not attracted.
No,
but there is a segment, no matter how much they want to dismiss it and pretend it's not real, there is a segment that goes same sex because of things they've been through with the opposite sex.
Yeah.
There are actually people who choose it. I know some of them.
Yeah.
And I have nothing against them for that. I understand that. But to sit there and say that nobody chooses it, there's actually quite a few people who do.
Yeah.
And the people in that category who have trauma, who are scared of opposite sex, who have medical, mental issues with it and all that, they really don't like the people who say that nobody chooses it.
Yeah.
So because, as they said, most people can fall somewhere on the bisexual scale, even if it's only like a 1% bisexual.
Yeah.
Most, not all. I definitely don't. I have 0 there.
Yeah.
But most can. So if you have a slight sapphic leaning, all you need is a reason, and you'll lean towards it more.
Yeah, there's a point I think most people where it's like, nah, I got but $20 is $20, that sort of thing, What point where it's like,
And I instantly thought of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and Carlin going, if it gets me further along my destination, I'll take a shot in the mouth.
Yeah.
It's like, oh God.
So we still got 12 people and no one's saying a damn thing. Come on, people.
I think they're just mortified at the shit show at this moment.
What are we? You're dancing monkeys? Come on.
Yes. Dance, bitch.
Went there, break out Kermit and doing things. What?
To everybody watching, thank you for watching.
Yes.
He's fucked up.
Now join in, please.
He's fucked up. It's all his fault. It's
That's-
all his fault. It's all his fault. I mean,
That's the thing. Now that I've got my own projector screen, I can set up the green screen. Unfortunately, I cannot do it because Kermit's the same shade. So yeah, but then you see nothing but eyes and a mouth flapping.
well, and in Hollywood they
Maybe kind
correct
of
that by
horrifying.
using the blue screen instead of the green screen. Because there is blue screen technology too. They use as a backup.
Oh, I know. Well, blue screen was originally. Green screen's rather recent.
Yeah, but green screen's more effective usually.
Mm-hmm.
Say what? Say what?
In the case of Kermit, it's usually the old school thing. I get down on the floor on my knees and just
So you like being on your knees, huh?
Not really. No, I can't do that anymore. My knees don't handle it.
Don't ruin the joke. Just fucking let it sit.
I was riding with it, okay?
You kind of ruined it. Sometimes a joke just needs to sit, like the semen on the tits. I mean,
Okay.
You're the one to be on here.
Yeah.
You got nobody to blame for the shit I say except for yourself for letting me on here. And I don't even know if Rob heard what I just
Reminder,
said.
What did she just say?
I was telling him why he needs to shut up and let my joke sit. Sometimes you just need to let it sit like semen on tits.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, we're going to let this run just a little while longer.
And then he just kind of sat there looking at me like, what the fuck? And then laughed.
Oh.
I'm not wrong.
And now back to the usual e-begging.
I mean, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Fucked up, but not wrong.
Mm-hmm. Oh. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun time later tonight. Though I'm gonna keep hawking that live streams. Like, hey, we're finally getting more than 5 minutes with Rob, Burnett. And it's gonna be a barn burner. Okay.
Okay. All right, you gang. Everybody there.
Hey, you guys.
Yeah. I'm gonna check out for that. My brother's supposed to be bringing the pooch by with his kid.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh boy.
So the pooch will finally get some proper attention.
Probably. Then I got to put up with the kid just like watching planes take off. Oh my god! Oh my god!
The dog saying, "Can I finally be fed? It's been days."
Yeah,
it could be worse. Do you know what happens when I see planes take off?
What?
There's a certain tick.
Oh boy. You don't go crash, do you?
No, it's worse.
Dodge the building.
Dodge towers.
Alan, they bought their tickets. They knew what they were getting into. I say, let them crash. All right, gang.
Right, on that note,
I noticed Carlin stopped doing that routine after 9/11, though.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
All right.
Take care.
No, seriously, like right after he's done Letterman, he's doing the old football and baseball routine. Because okay, that one didn't age well. Let's not go back to that.
Sometimes pieces of the past stay in the past.
So yeah, it's edgy when it doesn't happen. When it happens, we're like, oh shit, that's no longer funny.
I mean, proper edgy humor can sometimes make the things that actually happen still funny, but it's got to be done right.
Yeah.
And me sitting here being self-conscious because I've been staring at my fucking cyst on my lip the whole time. And whoever named it ovarian cystic disorder can fucking kiss my ass, because that's not the only place they happen.
Yeah. Well, consider that that I only got a 720 resolution, so.
So it just looks like this red blotch on my chin.
Yeah, it's not really. Yeah, the lighting such as is that a shadow? Could be. I don't know. Yeah.
But the fuck it, I've streamed with worse before, anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. What have I got?
Well, let's wrap this up and have some fun backstage.
Yeah, and actually, and besides, I got a grocery delivery showing up in for too long, so.
Backstage, then whenever the groceries are there, you can get up for a bit and not worry about it.
Okay. So, for you 12 people who are shown here, God bless you.
And I'm sorry.
Providing me with an audience for a change.
Crazy bullshit, but that's what you get with us. I mean.
And again, later tonight on the Burnett Work channel, me and Robert Meyer Burnett will be skewering Alex Kurtzman like the fuck pig that he is. And it's like like corset, it'll be glorious.